right. Okay, good afternoon, folks. Welcome to Smudcast number 357. Comicsgate is a scam and also incredibly bigoted. Okay, this is a video that was done last month in July, and it's by the Serf Times. I don't think we've ever watched one of these before. I can't recall. We might have.
We have. I think there was he covered the Five Nights at Freddy's guy being revealed as someone who supports the Republican Party.
Oh God! Oh no! What a horrible, horrible man!
No, this is the one who also. I think this is the same guy who simped for that Twitch streamer woman, and then was caught being embarrassed.
Oh my God! Are you serious?
Oh wait, no, this can't be the
same. No,
it
can't
guy.
be the same guy. That's totally that was like really remember. That was like, oh my God, what's wrong with this fellow? I don't know who this guy is. Anyway, he's a 50,000.
They all look the same.
Their arguments are very similar, but they all seem to blend together after a certain point in time. It's like, yeah, it's the same crap. Here we go. So anyway,
kind of looks like Sandoval.
I don't remember. Maybe he grew up. I don't know. Maybe he's got some facial hair. Who knows? Anyway, this guy's at about 50,000 subs. This was a 12,000 view video. I can't see likes and dislikes anymore because YouTube's weird. So I don't know what's up with the channel. But Comicsgate is pretty old. I don't know why people are talking about it anymore. So maybe it's still a topic for some. But it must have been at least 4 or 5 years since it's been gone. So
I think like 4. Yeah, 4.
At least.
I think Jawbreakers was in 2018.
Okay.
Yes.
That was some weird legal problem, I think. I can't recall.
Oh yeah, it was. I think LiteratureDevil could talk about it too.
Yeah.
At the end of the day.
I don't know if what he's up to. I didn't nag him, but I'm sure we can cover this fine. The arguments are.
I think he sees like Comicsgate in the title, and he's like, "Yes, this is my place."
Oh really? I can nag him.
It's like the bat signal.
Really? I can nag him right now if he wants to pop in, but I really don't know too much about it. It's been a while since I've talked about Comicsgate. I know we covered it on his Morning Nonsense stream a few times. And who are the various guys? There's Ethan Van Scrier. There's Richard Mayer. I can't remember. And there's someone else.
Richard C. Meyer. He's actually on the thumbnail here. He's in the middle. He's the poor guy who got interviewed on, I think it was Comedy Central Australia, and was like a really bad comedian who turns out that he edits his interviews. So like he was like making Richard look like a fool and like a racist, like homophobic, even though like he was not having any of those intentions. He was like criticizing these comic books, but these people are trying to like make these people look like monsters, even though they have all the rights to criticize these new comic books for what they are now.
If I was more aware or cognizant of what came out the past few years and what was the big deal, I might give a flip. But honestly, it's just a bunch of stuff that no one bought or no one is interested in, and people criticizing it for whatever reason. I see nothing wrong with any of that. If you like it, great. If you don't like it, great. I don't care. It's just something that didn't sell. And we've been seeing that from Marvel plenty of times over the years. I'd say for the past decade, really. And that's just them going through their growing pains or dying pains, whatever you want to call the comic book industry, which is slowly dying. And there's not much they can do about it, aside from just making good stuff. Like, you should keep making quality content they've been doing for the past 50 years. But apparently, that's too much to ask these days.
Yeah, and that's like, I think Comicsgate is a very healthy response to that. Like, they are exactly like what people were nagging those companies about, that they want this and they weren't getting it at all. So like, fuck it, I'm gonna make it myself. That's how I see it.
Yeah, and we have seen some. What was the Frog comic? I can't remember the name of it. from
Cyberfrog,
is it
from
Cyberfrog?
Ethan Van Sciver. Yeah,
Yeah, he's the guy who
that was doing millions of dollars on Indiegogo.
right.
That's like amazing. Just one guy. Well, of course, like he probably had like some help, but of course, it's amazing.
I don't even know the appeal of the comic. I haven't read the comic. I don't know what the storyline's about, but the fact that he could pull that off from crowdfunding is great, is just awesome to hear. And I'm glad that people can do that with their lives and start up a comic book and start their own thing and say, look, guys, Marvel and DC can't seem to get it into the net. Here's my take. And people jump on it, which is strange because even I'm getting disenfranchised with a lot of the Kickstarter video game projects, which look fine. They look okay, but there's like 20 questions I have, and I'm like, oh, this is not going to work out. So I kind of just slowed down. I used to be really involved in throwing money at all kinds of game projects. I was like, oh, this is cool. Maybe one or two didn't make it, but a lot of them are sort of just taking years to come out.
Yes.
So
well, there's also Star Citizen. I feel like I think like that's the biggest one. That's like crowdfunded, and now they have their own website to do the funding, and it's still not out. They're still going to like implement new features, even though like people just want the fucking game to.
That's the largest example of what's gone wrong with crowdfunding for video games, but a lot of these are just people, small teams not being able to figure out how to budget something of that scale because they've never done it before, and they think their demo, or some of them didn't even have a demo. This is before the rules were in place on Kickstarter that you had to have a demo before you launched your project.
Really? Is that not a recent thing?
The past few years, I think you had to have a demo before.
All right, because I remember that there was like a time around like 2014, 15. I used to watch like a channel called Retro Prey. They had like a series called Kickstarter Non-Starters, and it was hilarious because like they were covering like daily some of these like very crazy ideas on Kickstarter, where like they have like a ridiculous budget, and it's like usually was one guy saying that I have an idea for a game, and if you give me $600, I'm gonna make it. But like he didn't really like say like what he wants to make and how it's gonna look like. He just gonna say like an existing title mixed with this genre, and it's gonna look awesome. So just give me money, and I'm gonna make it. And all of those are just terrible. And like none of them, like there were like some of them who showed the demos, but some of those demos were barely having like 1 or 2 FPS. So yeah, a lot of trash.
Okay, well, let's get back on the topic of comic books and start with the video. I've nagged Lit Dev. I don't know if he's going to pop in, but who knows. Anyway, here's Francis Board Coppola. Thanks for the donation. The Serfs are like Xander Hall. Oh. In that they see Destiny on weekends and Vosh during the week. After Vosh and Destiny got divorced, this guy is a bread tuber. Prepare for weapons grade retardation. I'm not sure what you were implying with the weekend and the weeks of watching Vosh, but Xander Hall does not impress me at all. So I've watched a bit of this video. It's just a bunch of, I think there's 2 guys and they're going meh to listening about things that happened to these 2 guys, which is Meyer and Scryer. I just don't care. Like I was like, okay, yeah, that's your opinion, fine, great, doesn't bother me. So let's see, 23 minutes. Oh boy, this is gonna be long. Okay, how long we got? Yeah, we're starting okay. We should be good. And let's go.
Videos.
And I got confused, so I go, oh wait, what?
Yeah, it seems like he's doing a boss run of all the classics. So you got your homophobia, your transphobia, all the phobias. You know, he's doing all the phobias.
He's so funny. Oh God.
So I don't know what that was about, but we'll keep on going.
As far as I'm concerned, and I really just want to make that clear.
What is happening what is that? Is that a camera above him? Like, oh no, sorry, that's the actual stream.
That's the actual stream. The one in the right bottom corner is just like filler.
Okay. Okay, that's a YouTube channel, I believe. I think
too. It's just confusing that we are watching a guy watching another guy edited another guy's interview. How much deeper can we go?
Okay, so Forced Adversity is an actual channel. It's got about 5,000 subs. It's done about 40 videos. Let me just pull it up.
Listen up.
This is a channel formerly known as Actual Context. I'm Dane Whitman, and my goal is to drag abusive and bigoted social predators out of our nerdy fandoms and into the sunlight. The context is weaponized. Okay. I don't know what that means. But apparently this guy looks at debunking anti-SJW narratives. Richard Meyer proves Comicsgate is a scam. All kinds of weird topics. I don't know what his slant is yet, but he's been pumping out videos for the past few weeks. So, lots of comic book stuff. Not sure what that means. Anyway. Let's go.
Agenda. Pro SJW feminist fans of Birds of Prey.
Trash, woke trash movies.
Hertzman hates Doomcock.
What the hell did you
Meet
say?
Richard Meyer.
What are your thoughts on the current state of comic books?
Comics are this is the interview. So basically, like Richard C. Meyer is the creator of Jawbreakers, and it's like I don't know if it was like already part of Comicsgate or like Cyberfrog was the first one, but like he pretty much like this is like the beginning point of Comicsgate, as I believe, and this sparked the controversy that like someone was criticizing constantly like the current like generation of Marvel and DC comics can actually make a comic book himself to prove that like yes, I can make it and it's gonna sell much more than like your product. And that's like where they got angry at him.
Okay.
And now they are trying, and this comedian that he is currently being interviewed by is like making him look like an idiot. But like yeah, like later it turns out that like he was just framing him like that, and like this interview is just big bullshit. But yeah, of course, like he could be blamed for like falling into this trap that he would be interviewed by this dishonest man.
Yeah, I think this is Jim Jeffries. He's pretty left leaning. I don't know what controversy he got into the past few years, but I think there was something that happened to him. So. He
drugged a girl, was 17 in the UK, but because that's the legal age of consent, like he got out of it. But it's kind of controversial, I would say.
Oh my god.
He also was very Islamophobic. Like, it's kind of funny because, like, in this context, because Richard is criticizing like Kamala Khan, was like one of those newer Marvel characters, and then like Jim is just like trying to like defend it, like that's like kind of racist of you to say that. It's very ironic, I would say.
All right, well, I don't remember the interview, but okay, I do know he was involved in something with comics, so this must be it.
Seemingly he's playing the clip, so
yeah.
I think we can get the context.
All right.
Of weirdly dying politics, specifically identity politics being shoved into everything.
This graph is like I don't know like how much you know, but I have heard it from LitDev that like North American comic sales is pretty much like also counting like how much manga and like other media they have sold. So just seeing that like $1.2 billion is made out of that doesn't mean that like it's all like Western comic books that like being sold. It also means that like they have like sold manga as well in those figures. So
Well, I don't understand the chart, because the sentence on the left saying comic sales have actually continued to rise every year, and I'm like, no.
yeah.
I mean, I'm not blind. I could see a graph. It's not, or a bar graph or whatever. It's just, it's like, no. If you were, I don't know if you guys ever heard of dividend investing, but there's something called Dividend Kings, or these companies that have been around for like 50 years. They are known to increase their dividends every year for the past 30 years or 50 years. Once you get to 10, you're an aristocrat. Once you get to 25, you're a king, or whatever the rating is. So as soon as you decrease your dividend, boom, you're knocked off the famous title. So no, comics have not actually continued to rise every year. And all we have to do is look at the licensing deals we have with Japan, who owns what, and who is allowed to sell. Because anyone can get a license agreement with Japan, and if you're a distributor, you're just a distributor. You're not. You're a warehouse with shipping. You have a fleet of trucks. That's all you are. There's nothing else to it if all you're doing is importing and exporting. So I would imagine the comic book industry has the same capacity to sell manga as it does Western comics. So it's a good fit, but that doesn't mean the Western comics are actually selling.
Well, I mean, don't get me started on the movies. You know, don't get me started on all the movies, because once we hear about the Go Woke Go crowd, yeah, no, they went broke. Did you see how broke they went? Too woke.
I disagree with this too. Like they are like you can't like cherry pick so many of those comic book movies that did horribly, and people were just like turned off by them completely. And it's like irrelevant to even think about, because when you like compare like the sales side to side, like how much people invested in the comic book movies from like around like 2019 up to 2019. I mean, it's like a totally different figure to compare to like how much comic books were sold at the time for like those titles that they were based on. But I don't know what he really means by this.
I'm kind of curious with after 2019, which was the Endgame movie of the MCU. I don't think Marvel has been hitting it out of the park ever since then. There's been some really bad TV series, or whatever you want to call Netflix streaming service series.
Yeah, but the 3 or 4 TV shows that they have launched on Disney Plus, I think like the only show that was like remotely successful was The Mandalorian, but that's not even like a comic book. So
I'm also curious how Black Widow did in the sales figures, but not too well received in general. Not as popular.
Well, I should also count in that like now it's like a split, because like there's also people who went in to actually watch the movie in the theater, and then there's the people who watched it through the streaming service. So
right. So
hi faggots, how are we doing?
Hey, how you doing, Hawk? We're great.
My favorite black person is here.
Yes.
No, you're about 2 steps away from being your own comic book character with an avatar like that. I don't know what the hell they'd call you, but you know, the imperialist dogs. I don't know,
something like that. I don't know. All I know is I've just I don't know, slavery, Waterloo. I don't know, something. Killing Germans. That could be my power.
Anyway, we're talking about comic book sales and the decline of the industry.
Yeah. This whole thing with comic book sales it's not actual people buying it. It's the money that comic book shops have to give creators to buy the comics to sell them on.
Yeah, there's no actual store sales. No one has those numbers. We're talking about independent stores that are not licensed
we
by.
spoke about it. Yeah, yesterday, didn't we?
Yeah, I know.
The world's shortest Smudcast.
You can't, if there is no like authority on keeping track of the store sales of a store inventory, then there's no way you're going to figure that out. And
so when people talk about comic book sales, it's like the companies are getting this money from the stores. So Marvel is getting, let's just say about 1.2 billion. Let's say that was just what Marvel got. Let's cut it down to simple things. That is the money that comic book stores and retailers give to Marvel. Now the thing is, those comic book stores and retailers are all closing down and struggling because no one's buying the comic books.
You can't just blame it on like COVID.
You can't even blame it on COVID. Mark, did you just press play there?
No, Chico.
I believe yes. I'm sorry.
To look like a...
I just saw people moving in the background. I'm like, okay, but yeah. So when you look at it, so the money, it's a false. What would you call it in accounting? I should know because I actually have a degree in accountancy, but I can't remember what the fucking wording is. Shit, I can't remember it. But the figure that they're showing is like it's like a false number. It's not a real proper number because that 1.2 billion won't be there next time because the comic book stores and retailers won't have that amount of money because they haven't sold that much things, so it will start going down. So the reason why it looks like it's going up is because there's just more and more. The companies are sending more stuff out, and they're telling the comic book stores, you have to pay this amount of money. It's not a natural flow of cash. Cash flow. It's a false cash flow.
Okay.
Simplest words, and I can't remember them.
All right, no problem. Let's keep going.
A character that used to look like a 1980s Dallas Cowboy cheerleader basically looks like me now.
We, of course, are rocking those A cups. Anything above a B cup, you hate women.
Ms. Marvel was introduced as a Pakistani-American Muslim, Riri Williams, who replaced Iron Man.
Isn't she actually the new Iron Man?
Yes.
Yeah.
There's no Tony Stark anymore.
So she replaced Iron Man.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, that's what I thought.
It's almost yeah.
Anyway.
It's because you're racist or sexist, but probably.
Also, this is a very small thing, but like, did he misspell Comicsgate? Because like, I just read like what's on the bottom: Geeks and Gamers, Cosmic Gate.
Oh dear Lord!
Look at him, like looking at the title. What the hell?
Well, he's a serf, Mark, and serfs didn't have education, so.
True that.
Mm-hmm. Good times.
Did the sharks come for?
But this point, whoever's on screen is making.
I played about 4 seconds of it, and already moved on to isms and tisms immediately being spewed from the video.
Yes. Mm-hmm. Yeah, it's always tisms and isms.
Just immediately, it's like, we've got all the phobias. He's got the transphobia, the homophobia. It's like, whoa! All he's doing is look at a comic book. How are you deriving these?
Yeah, it's projection. Why is that projection saying like all the superheroes have A cups because anything higher, you know, because as Wisp would say, it's boob envy. And it's like, yes.
I see
How's that
you're about
projected?
2 minutes in. What have I missed after the first 4 seconds?
He was showing like comic book sales, like at comic book sales are rising. He didn't like really add that.
Is that the
it's mostly
statistics which
manga.
also include the comics from Comicsgate as well as manga sales?
Yes,
That's
he misspelled
the old
Comicsgate
trick.
as well. He spelled it Cosmic Gate.
What?
Look at the bond.
Cosmic Gate. Well, I know what that. How about for sci-fi? Cosmic Gate.
Yes.
Yeah, that's it. Now we're gonna have a
next
sci-fi
generation.
revolution. That's it.
Please, Lord.
Maybe that'll
Because-
be the name of my next sci-fi. Cosmic Gate.
Because I'll be honest with you, after I watched some of those trailers with you, Shiny, the Star Trek stuff, I'm just like, oh, no. No, please just... I just want to put a pillow over Star Trek.
I might write down Cosmic Gate as a note.
TM.
Are we predicting the next gate that's going to happen with...
No. Because I was thinking like the name fits with like Stargate, so Cosmic Gate, and I've got an idea for a story, and I think that might add Cosmic Gate might be a good name for it.
Oh. I was hoping that like Picard season 7 or whatever is going to have some ridiculous, stupid bullshit.
Season 7? What?
They've already
like,
locked
6?
in 2 more seasons for Picard, so...
Yep, somehow. How are they making money? How is this profitable? That's what I want to know. Is it purely off of selling it overseas? Because that's what happened with Netflix. Netflix paid for pretty much the production of the entire first season based upon just having the license to show it.
Money laundering. The only thing that makes sense is a money laundering scheme. It's the only thing that makes sense.
And
there's no idea
hiring
how
Alex
that episode
Kurtzman as
is
well.
during, like,
They've renewed his
budget-wise.
contract.
Yeah.
So
But the thing is,
that just kind of lands in my ballpark of, yeah, I'm kind of right. Nothing is changing. Nothing is going to ever change. They do not care. They don't care about making money. They don't care about the fans. They just care about pushing the same old tired crap.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
And also, I'm not even talking about politically. I'm just talking about crap stories.
Mm-hmm.
I think Star Trek has always had a political leaning, quite obviously. So even though I think social justice does come into it to some extent, I don't think you look at Picard and say it's particularly progressive. It's more just that it's a complete
It's more
misunderstanding of
regressive.
Star Trek.
Actually, Picard is really regressive compared to other Star Trek shows. That's the thing. Discovery, Picard, and all the other shit they're making, they say is progressive, but they literally have to break Star Trek law to make things bad, so that they have something to moan about. Because
They
Star
just
Trek
make
was
the
too
entirety
progressive.
of the Star Trek world horrible, bleak, dark, and depressing.
Yeah.
It's like, oh, I just wanted Picard to think that there was still room in this dark universe for optimism. I didn't want to break his heart, and then she just disintegrates the fucking woman she like 7 or 9 used to be in love with for whatever reason. Wow.
It's bad when you make Star Trek Nemesis a fun-filled, joy-filled adventure that everyone can enjoy.
Star Trek Nemesis is somehow more hopeful than motherfucking Picard and bloody Discovery.
Well, we could say that they make the most subscribers from Star Trek Picard than any other show they did on CBS Access. But the only numbers I have for like money making were the amount of money they paid Patrick Stewart per episode. So back in the day when he was making,
that's not money making though. That's production costs.
They gotta pay someone something. So that money has to come from somewhere. So that assumes that
it has to at least make up those production costs in order to keep going.
Yeah, but
and then you've also got to add like
time
marketing
shares.
on top of that.
Someone must be.
It's just timeshares in the Algarve.
Oh, really? Yeah.
Pyramid scheme.
It's all just real estate. Sure. Okay. Well,
yeah, it's scams.
Just to give you a heads up on how that money difference was back in TNG. Even though Patrick Stewart was the head guy, he was making about $100,000 an episode. I don't know how often. Like I don't know when that started. Like was it season 3 or season 4?
What does he got? Is it also because he gets royalties?
Well, that's another question I don't know. There's lots of dark areas of how people get
Because then
paid.
I'm questioning, like, wait a minute. How much are these episodes making by themselves if Patrick Stewart is costing like 100,000?
Well, that's what I mean. In TNG times, that was the 80s and 90s. He was making 100K an episode. Now,
and that does not count the inflation, right?
Inflation nowadays would be around 170, 180,000. I'd imagine. Just thinking about the rate because the bank rate was much different in the 90s. But nowadays,
the bank rate was a lot different in the noughties as well.
Okay. Nowadays, he makes 750,000 an episode. So
there's something, something. There's something so suspicious. There really, really is.
Something's going on
because you look at all these movies that also like flop, and you see what people have paid for them, and you're like, where is this money coming from? Where is it going? How come more things aren't going under? This is why I keep saying there's got to be some sort of money laundering schemes. There's got to be something dodgy in the background. It's such, everything's held up by this. Hollywood and the media is just this bubble. It's like the housing bubble in 2008. It's just going to pop.
I remember like Glib thinking that Hollywood was going to basically fall apart because of COVID, but lo and behold, look at where it is still. It's somehow puttering along. Nothing's changed. If anything, it's only gotten worse.
I do want to keep this in perspective because during was it 90s or 2000s when Friends was aired, that was the highest paid salary for those.
They were getting like $1 million.
They were $1 million an episode. So,
well, welcome to the stream about Comicsgate. We're going to talk about Star Trek for the next few hours. So
no, we're not.
And
but the thing about that was Friends could pay these people $1 million because you knew that was the most popular show on TV.
Oh yeah, that's a totally different thing.
It's like, oh, Friends was getting watched by millions of people. You're like, okay, that's understandable. When Picard's getting watched by a couple of 100,000, maybe, and then you've got things like Batwoman getting watched by like 6 people and a dog that strayed into someone's house. You're like, how are they paying these people that amount of money? Do you know what I mean?
Yeah, well,
it's just weird. I mean, let's put this into perspective. And only because Shani's come here and reminded me, we were covering a Red Dwarf, weren't we, on the stream that got taken down and no one can ever watch ever again.
Yeah, don't worry about that. It's all because of CBS, because we watched the Star Trek episodes, not trailers. That's it, not episodes. Since we watched the Star Trek trailers, they took us down for that. Not live. After they waited till afterwards to say, "Oh well, we're gonna block your stream because reasons. You can't re-upload it. Sucks to be you."
But it's one of those things where Red Dwarf, if everyone knows, is an old British TV comedy. It started in the 80s. And in 1999, it was getting millions of viewers just on the BBC, right? And that's for a crappy, low-budget comedy sci-fi show. It was getting millions of viewers. Viewership that modern stuff can only dream about. With all the streaming stuff, all that sort of stuff. They don't talk in the millions. They talk in the
Doctor Who, the BBC's flagship series, can not even reach what Red Dwarf used to get.
Mm-hmm.
Which season was that, by the way, at Red Dwarf? When it reached
season 8, the worst season that was made.
Damn.
So yeah, it was. So this is what I mean. Where it's like, where did these numbers come from? What's this money thing? It's like it's a false cash flow. It's just.
Well, it could just possibly be because, as I was saying before, the entire production value and more was paid for by Netflix. Well, not explicitly. They just paid more than what they paid to produce the entire first season. That was just how much they bought the exclusive rights for.
Yeah.
So they're making money there, obviously. And then they're getting royalties, and then they're getting all these other things, as well as numbers in the US. even though the streaming service is doing so poorly, they had to put bloody advertisements on their fucking episodes on their paid streaming service, and that was also ludicrous to me. And the shows can't be doing well because even Netflix was like unhappy with how Discovery was going, so that Picard had to be bought by bloody Amazon, and then Amazon wasn't happy with how Picard did because they didn't buy Lower Decks, and it wasn't until much later, a few years later, that they basically bought the rights to show Lower Decks externally outside the US for basically nothing. As well as Trek shorts as well. Netflix basically got them for free, and they shoved them in with trailers and extras.
I do remember...
And Trek shorts was supposed to be its own series, by the way.
I do remember Picard
it's just short episodes.
Had close to 20 or so producers. So those are all people with financial stakes in the show. So for whatever reason, all of these people, including the son of Roddenberry, was his name Rod or something like that?
Rod Roddenberry.
Yeah.
Yeah, Gene seems to have a sense of humor.
Yeah, it's just, sorry, I believed you. I was just getting it through my head. Rod.
You didn't know Rod Roddenberry?
No, not personally, Shani.
Oh no, we're good mates. He's up here in space, like his father.
Yeah, Roddenberry was a strange guy. Let's not.
I'm just too old. I'm just too old for this shit now. I really am. I'm just.
Let's not get into the personal life of people behind the scenes and
of Gene Bucket. We do it live, Roddenberry. Even though that's not what he said. But
oh boy, what a crazy guy! But he gave us Star Trek, so hey, he's worth something. Anyway.
But to go back to Comicsgate with the making money. We can tell that the comics industry is struggling because places are shutting down left, right, and centre. It's just becoming ridiculous. And then on to the next point that he's on about, which is what I was going to say. The guy in the picture is going like, if you don't like these characters, you're either a racist or a bigot or both. And he's right. That's what you automatically get called. So anyone who's even got constructive criticism of characters and everything like that is just lumped in with racism and bigotry, which obviously means
you have problems with Star Trek Discovery. You think that their main protagonist is a fucking Mary Sue plank of wood. Well, that's because you're sexist.
No, I'm sexist because I hate women, and I'm racist because I hate blacks. Come on, Shine, we all know this already. So
okay,
I think it's telling when even AT chat is saying, yeah, I'm kind of fed up of being called racist and sexist just because I have critiques of like Rise of Skywalker or like other things AT chat has talked about in the past. Like he's legitimately being called sexist and racist by some random fuckers in his comment section, or even people calling him a hater. You know those kind of comments we get? It's like, oh, you're just a hater. You're so negative.
Yeah,
AT chat has shown me the fucking comments he's been getting like that, and I found that so hilarious.
Yeah, this is why I said what I just said, because at the end of the day, they think that I think that anyway. So I'm gonna just go along with whatever they think.
He's just gonna be, oh well, may as well prove them right.
No, I may as well be the worst thing that they've ever like encountered, because I just really don't care, because I just move on to another person who can have an actual conversation.
So that's why you're a British Pepe.
Yes.
All right.
Yes.
All right. Let's keep going here. Finally.
Yeah.
Here's White Knight Leo. Thanks for the 5. Wouldn't a scam require that they take money and never deliver anything? Every CG project I've backed delivered exactly what was promised.
Exactly. Yes.
Yeah,
they are like some black sheep, but like most of them were delivered.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. And like there are projects which have taken quite a bit of time to make, but that's because making a comic is quite difficult, especially when you're not on a manufacturing line. Like LitDev's Dr. Alpha has taken a few years, but it's now very close to release. And like they do get released, they just take time.
Yeah, but my thing is with the scam The actors are still getting paid. The producers, directors, and writers, the people who are pushing the woke thing, are still getting paid by Netflix and all this sort of stuff. Netflix goes under, or Amazon goes under, or whatever. Just say that happened. The people.
Well, I doubt Amazon's going under anytime soon.
Yeah, no, I'm just saying.
Wishful thinking.
How much debt has Netflix now got?
Well, hypothetically, let's just say that any of these big things go under. The people at the top just move on to the next fucking.
Yeah, they've got all their money still.
They've got all their money. That's the scam. It's they lost the company. The company's gone down, but they still have the money to but they've scammed off of other people. They scammed off the backers. They scammed off the
I think that's probably ultimately why they've stopped caring, because they've still got like a shit ton of fuck you money. They can drive all these industries into the bloody dirt, and I was like, oh well, by the end of the day, I'm still gonna be living pretty comfortably, and someone's somehow still gonna hire me.
Yeah, well, look at the end of the day.
You can be J.J. Abrams, the person which has killed 2 franchises, causing tremendous damage, as well as just making some terrible movies, and you somehow still get work. Is he still working on the DC shit? Like he's making like the Black Superman?
He's just the producer there, so he's basically just checking getting the paycheck.
He's also supposedly working on the Batman animated series.
Which one?
Yeah,
like the new one.
New one. But this is what I mean. It's one of those things where they can just move on to whatever. They really are like
get hired. Alex Kurtzman, once he stops doing Star Trek, he's going to move on to something else. He's still going to be fucking hired by someone. How do these people keep getting hired? They don't do good jobs.
Because it's all one big scam. And what they'll do is Alex Kurtzman will go over to somebody big in the company, and the next production team goes, listen, if you hire me, you will get blah, blah, blah amount of money out of it. And they'll go, deal.
I think it's more because of nepotism. So, like, Hollywood's always been about knowing someone.
Oh, yeah,
and, like,
exactly.
So that's how Alex Kurtzman got into Star Trek. Because obviously he worked with J.J. Abrams on the 2009, so he made connections. So that way, instead of hiring someone which would maybe be competent for the job as a showrunner of a Star Trek show, they fucking get Alex Kurtzman. Why? Because of J.J. Abrams, not for any other reason.
There's also
Alex Kurtzman wrote Into Darkness, by the way. What a great movie that was.
Yes, that was the best Star Trek movie. That didn't do poorly at all.
That is the best rip-off of Wrath of Khan since the last rip-off of Wrath of Khan, whichever it was.
Yeah, whatever Mexican actor was there.
I am Khan. Who? I'm
Khan.
I don't know, but no one should fucking know who you are. You just appeared out of nowhere. Then they hired.
Who's Khan?
Nobody saw Space Seed.
An old, fucking genetically modified human to design better weapons. What's he gonna tell them? Okay, we need you to build torpedoes. Those torpedo things you've got, build them bigger and have more explosives in there. And you know those cannons you've got, also make them bigger. It's like, oh, thanks, Khan. Why did we wake you up to tell us how to design better weapons? Why?
Wow, tell us all that futuristic tech from the 1990s when you come from.
He designed some torpedoes and then put his own fucking people. Did no one check the production line? It's like, hey, Khan, do we really need these torpedoes to have people in? I don't think they work well with the design at all. Maybe it's better to have a warhead in there.
I actually think that it was Admiral Marcus who put the Khan's people into the torpedoes.
I thought it was that Khan put his people in the torpedoes and designed them that way so he could smuggle them out or something, but then the Admiral used it against him as like hostages.
To be brutally honest with you, when I went to the cinema to watch Wrath of Kurtzman, I was with my first girlfriend, and I spent more time trying to explain what a fucking trouble was to her than actually paying attention to the movie.
They cure fucking death with Khan's blood. That's such bullshit.
All right. Enough of Star Trek. Let's get back on topic.
Yeah. Come on. Yeah, sorry. So sorry.
It would upset a racist.
I think it would.
Welcome to the channel, and thank you for being patient last week as I took some time off. It was much needed. If you're not subscribed already,
are we reacting to someone reacting to someone?
Yes, we are.
Are we really doing this?
So next week when he's reacting to our stream, he can watch the.
Why did he put Geeks and Gamers and Comicsgate together? Like they are separate things. Oh, this was Cosmic-Gate. He's putting in Cosmic-Gate.
Because far right, or whatever Black Panther said.
Anyway.
Maybe. I don't know, I'm not your dad. Unless I am. Before we get into...
No, terrible joke. You're not...
that was a terrible joke.
Let's move on.
Before week's topic, I've got a song that I wrote
also,
for just this...
Please, no.
It applies to this entire video, so it's just a real quick song.
So much
I hope you like it.
Noise on the green screen, and it's bugging me. Look at that. Look at that. You can fix that very easily by fucking changing the curve of the mat. Why does he have noise? Did he just throw the effect on in After Effects and just said done?
No, it looks more like the Sony Vegas like chroma key, pretty much.
He couldn't even just mask it out. And look at the feathering on his fucking shoulders. You don't need that much feathering.
I can see the green on his beard.
What is going on?
Hawk's like, what?
I'm very sorry.
I'm just like, yeah.
Technical things like this. Considering how fucking easy it is to do a green screen and to do it right, it annoys me when people can't do it. Just watch a fucking tutorial. They're very easy to find, especially After Effects. It's very available.
Anyway.
Okay.
Let's go.
Look at the noise. It's annoying me. All that in the background.
I've got a song that I wrote for just this occasion.
Nice.
It applies to this entire video, so it's just a real quick song. I hope you like it.
Oh boy.
Allegedly.
Skip.
You might have seen Richard Lil Dick Meyer on the Jim Jeffries show a few
I just realized there's another webcam. The dog just walked by. Wait, is he got a live feed of his dog?
Yes, he does. That's the actual stream, and like him and
does he have a live feed of his dog? I think that's what I suggested to LitDev as a joke.
I don't know anymore. I don't know.
Behind him as well, because you can see the bike and the crate with the plant pot.
Well, that guy we're watching is the Forced Adversity channel. So whatever he does with his nanny cams, I don't really care. But this is a guy watching this guy's channel, like, yeah, I agree with him. Yeah, I agree with him, or whatever. That's what we're doing.
Great.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Who aren't in comic books, they're also attacking women and people of color who make comic books.
They're hiring.
I like how he just skipped over those.
I remember this interview where they just overweight. Take everything he fucking says out of context.
Yeah, because he literally said if you argue with these people because you're racist and bigoted, okay, so you're racist and bigoted. No, that's not what I said. I just said that we can't just okay.
Probably how you don't even need evidence these days to call someone racist and sexist. You just say they are, not because they're actually doing anything. Because I'm trying. Wait, who is this guy again? I'm trying to remember who this one is.
Meyer.
I know he's
your boy Zach.
Your boy Zach. That's it. Because your boy Zach has never actually attacked women. He's never attacked people of color. He's talked about diversity in comics and shit and social justice bullcrap, but that's not the same. Saying that you don't like a political agenda in your comics books and taking the piss out of how crap they are these days because of this political bias is not being racist or sexist. You can literally look up the definition of racism and sexism is discrimination based upon gender and bloody race. You just being against all this political bias in your comic books is not discrimination based upon race or gender. You're not saying that you can't have female protagonists or black protagonists or anything else. It's saying that these specific ones are terrible, and you're pushing it on us and saying that we should appreciate these characters purely because of their gender or race, which a lot of people, especially people in the Comicsgate, are saying, no, we're not going to celebrate these characters because of their race or gender. We're tired of the shit you're giving us. We're going to make our own shit. And you think that would be fine. Okay, if you don't want to have our comic books and you want to go make your own, that's great. You go and do that. But they can't even go and make their own shit, can they? There's no way they win.
Yeah, but the thing that's funny about everyone arguing about with Comicsgate about everything is the fact that at the end of the day, the only thing that any of these new progressive, and I'm using quotation marks, characters have is the fact that they're race and gender, because otherwise they're such unlikable people. Their characterizations are so unlikable. Every single one of them, you just literally just hope is going to die, or hope something really bad happens to him, because they're just so unlikable. And the fact of the matter is, you can't even say that you don't like them, because they go, well, you hate them because of this. No, I hate them because these people are fucking psychopaths. Whoever wrote these people must be a psychopath. It's just absolutely crazy.
All right, thanks for the donation, Sir Cosmicgate _or Comicsgate. What up, my white folks? What's this garbage video about? It's the guy from the Serf Times looking at a guy from another YouTube channel looking at an interview.
Looking at a guy doing an interview with another guy.
With a comedian from Australia. So, yeah.
What even is the Serf Times?
You can guess exactly what the name is, what it means.
He's like a Xander Hall wannabe, so I think that's enough.
Yeah.
Okay.
A black woman. Isn't that exciting?
You have said that some women are sleeping their way to get into these positions.
So I did one video. It's a common.
Gamergate, guys. Gamergate. Do you remember that? Pepperidge Farm.
Like every fucking time has to be brought up. Yeah.
They can't ever let it die, can they? It's always just going to be a boogeyman.
So
forever.
Comicsgate was what, back in 2015 or so? Or 15?
And Gamergate was even old.
Yeah.
No. Watergate was caused by Gamergate, okay?
Yeah.
And Gamergate is responsible for everything.
The English settlement of Jamestown that failed in 1619 was due to the CIA and Gamergate.
All right. Here's the mechanist. Thanks for the $1.11. This guy is no one's dad because no woman would let him anywhere near them without yelling the R word, and he shouldn't call anyone's. And he shouldn't call anyone's dick small, considering how smooth and dickless he is.
I know. Oh.
Also, like Richard C. Meyer, like your boy Zach, is like a literal veteran. Like he went out and shot at terrorists. Like if he's calling him a dickless, he's delusional to no end.
You're dickless because you don't like Miss Marvel.
Well,
fine, whatever. Okay then.
All right.
Wasn't another thing about your boy Zach is that he's socially awkward and not very well spoken?
He can communicate fairly well. I heard him not debate, but talk about other things with other people. So he's more than capable of doing these things, and he's been in lots of interviews. So
he's having an interview with an Australian. Come on, I mean, let's not start talking about how he talks properly. He's talking to an Australian. The guy's just like.
Well, I just meant to represent your problems, because it's very important to be well spoken, especially when you've got someone trying to nail you on pretty much everything. There's like, hey,
Yeah,
look, if you're interviewing someone who's trying to say that you are like this horrible, racist, sexist human being, you have to be incredibly careful with what you say, because otherwise it's going to be cherry picked. It's going to be taken all over the place. They're going to be taking things
you
out of
basically
context.
cut together his interview to make him look like a racist, and it's being exposed as well.
It seems to me this is more of a comic thing. Like if you're being interviewed by a comedian, I don't think you're going to take too much too seriously. There's a certain limit where he is trying to make people laugh at you or with you or whatever. That's his goal. So I'm sure some things were edited, some questions were bait for him to say something weird, because that's what. And there's no laugh track, so I have no idea what the jokes are. I couldn't tell you. So
well, I think there was a laugh track. I remember when we watched this interview originally, and the interview wasn't even playing as like a joke. The joke was, look at how racist this person is. Look at how such a horrible human being, and it is just taking Zach out of context completely, or just giving such loaded questions that you can frame him as such, and that's why you've got to be careful. This is what they tried to do with Jordan Peterson. Remember the interview with what the fuck? Kathy Newman. That's it. Kathy Newman, who kept trying to load her questions and push Jordan Peterson into a corner to say that he is sexist, with every 5 seconds saying, so what you're saying is that women should never try and that they should give up and go in the kitchen. And Jordan Peterson's like, what the fuck are you talking about? No, that's not what I said at all.
Yeah.
So it is exactly what they did to Jordan Peterson.
Yeah. That's the only time I've ever seen a Canadian with balls, and I just had to say, well done. Well done, Canada, you made one good person.
Jordan Peterson Jordan Peterson is incredibly well-spoken. He always thinks before he says anything. He's trying to look at the angle of how it's going to be perceived, how someone might try and take him out of context. So he says, okay, I'm going to say exactly what I mean to say in a way which can't be misconstrued, and that I'm going to do everything I can to possibly make sure that she can't misconstrue what I'm saying. And that is the attitude that you always need to have when you're having such heated interviews, where like they're trying to frame you in a certain light.
They're trying to get you at their gotcha moment, which unfortunately for Kathy Newman happened to her.
Because if you interview with someone friendly, they can easily remove a question if you didn't answer it too well, or if it frames you in a negative light, or they can like allow you to rephrase it. Because sometimes we do misspeak, but then when it comes to someone who's like this, who's trying to frame you in a certain light, they won't let you. That one misspeak is just going to be used against you.
Yeah, Shani, are you trying to tell me that every single journalist is literally like what's his name from Scooby-Doo 2? You're trying to make me say Coolsville sucks.
Well, if I think
thank you, Mark, for getting that reference.
All journalists have an agenda, and they have a narrative, and the narrative is always like how they want to phrase things. So that if they interview like someone which they like and they want to support, they're gonna frame everything to try and put it in a positive light on them. If it's someone who they don't like Jordan Peterson, and Kathy Newman interviewing him, it's always going to be trying to frame Jordan Peterson in a negative light. And what I find so bizarre about it is that Jordan Peterson doesn't say anything edgy. He doesn't even come across as that incredibly political. What he mostly just says is very useful life advice.
It's when she asks a question, how do you feel it's bad that most of your audience are young men? He's like, I don't decide what my audience is.
Yeah, you don't have any control over that. And it's not even like that's a bad thing. Would it be a bad thing if Kathy Newman had a majority of female audience? I don't think so.
Yeah.
But it has such a negative connotation these days to have an audience full of men. Like a majority of men is a bad thing.
Yeah.
Because in reality, a majority of anything of any gender or like ethnicity doesn't matter at all.
Yeah.
All right.
Yeah. What if I said that your audience is a majority of white people? It's like that's not a bad thing either.
Yeah. I know.
What if I said it's a majority of black people? Would that be problematic? No.
The only I'd only be confused if like it was. I had a majority of like white viewers for a Ugandan sitcom. I'd be like, so what the hell's going on here? There's a very. Are we doing popular or what? I don't know. But that's the only way I'd be just confused. I wouldn't think it was a bad thing. I'd just be like, I guess we're popular with the white Ugandan crowd.
Right.
Yes, the Who Killed Captain Alex crowd.
Yeah.
All right. I got to catch up on some super chats that just came out of nowhere, and they keep coming. Please stop. One at a time. Cosmic Gate or Comic Gate again. Comic Gate again. Thank you. CIA is super woke. Okay. Did you people see the commercial one with the homosexual tranny that works at the CIA that CIA think is a valuable member of their staff? If CIA is on any team, it's Team Wokery. Guys, I don't know what the Americas are doing with their organizations these days. I'm just a lowly Canadian. We don't pay attention. It's fine.
Oh, and also it reminds me, Hawk, you said the only time you ever saw a Canadian with balls was Peterson. What about Smud here? Are you trying to say Smud doesn't have balls?
He can't say ambivalent, so I'm kind of worried. Also, he also can't say 150,000. So
150,000. He can't say that.
In certain times of the day, that's true. I cannot.
At certain times of the day, you can't say 150,000.
He went. There's 150,000.
It was cut off the screen, Hawk. I couldn't read the rest.
We're almost there. We were almost there. And I'm ambivalent. He goes ambivalent. So I'm sorry.
Ambivalent.
I like the word
Only you would
valence.
ask him to say it in Italian.
I like the word valence electrons a lot. So when I see those letters connected together, my chemistry kicks in. I'm like, valence electrons. Yes.
I do like the way he says protagonist. So I will give him that.
Anyway, more super chats just came in. I gotta go through them. Here's White Knight. One more time. Gamergate got us Orange Man, saith them. Really? And much of what happened with
Gamergate caused Orange Man
with the Coof in 2020 and 21 was related to Orange Man bad. So Gamergate got us Vax passports. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
Did they?
I remember that. What was it? Mundane Matt said that he was sorry for his part in Gamergate, and then he also said that Gamergate was responsible for like storming the Capitol as well as Trump. I'm pretty sure that Gamergate didn't cause Trump.
You know what? You and Mundane Matt goes, "I'm sorry for my involvement." I'm like, "We're sorry for your involvement as well."
We're sorry that anyone gave you a platform one day, Matt, because everyone felt sorry for you after someone tried to take your channel down.
I feel bad.
And it's so ironic that Mundane Matt got like so much publicity and he got famous because someone tried to take his channel down and silence him, and then he turns around and does the exact same thing to someone else.
Well,
that's what destroys his channel.
I feel bad having to cover his videos at all. I don't know why they get voted on anymore, but we had to do one the other day.
Remember, Keela is not a main character. She's only the main character in 5 episodes out of 5.
She's only the main character for a vast majority of the show. I forgot that Mundane Matt on Twitter was trying to defend the new He-Man show.
He even replied to Smud.
Yeah, that's what I was trying to say. When I left my comment, he just said you weren't paying attention and you're cherry picking my words. I'm like, dude, I listened to your entire video. We paused. Would you like timestamps of every comment I left? Because what I do nowadays with Smudcast is I write down most of our reactions that have a valid argument. It's like, okay, I'm going to list that. And he had about, I don't know, 7 or 8 comments we replied to. And that's all I did. I just copied and pasted them, put them in the comment section, and he replied. And he just dismissed it. Like, you're just cherry picking. I'm like, what? No.
Dismissals are always just a sign of like not having an argument, and that's exactly what I talked about my Sacred Cow video. Is if they can't respond to what you're saying, it's just you're a hater, you're sexist, you just don't understand the themes, you don't understand it, blah 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 blah. You know.
It doesn't
It's
matter.
always trying to just dismiss what you're saying without actually arguing any kind of response to what you've said.
Yeah, you can go on Twitter. He will engage with you on Twitter because for whatever reason, when we did one of his videos a year ago, he found out, I didn't at him on Twitter. He just somehow knew that I made a tweet about him and he replied to that as well. So he's constantly monitoring.
I remember he did that as well. He responded to someone else's tweet. It didn't tag him or anything. The tweet didn't even get that much traction. But somehow Mundane Matt managed to find out about it. And he was just randomly mentioned and he responded to the tweet. It might have been Southpaw who mentioned Mundane Matt. I don't know. I just remember quite a while ago that happened. So he does have to be monitoring.
Yeah, he's scouring for anything that might make him famous again. Because he's so desperate.
He's so desperate to interactions. He'll interact with all of his comments. He'll give them all a good nice heart.
Well, we do
get
we do get responses from other guys. Turf Nation replied to we actually covered multiple Turf Nation videos. I completely forgot we did that because his stuff is so forgettable and stupid that it's just useless.
Who's Turf Nation again?
You don't want to know.
I legitimately can't remember.
We've
covered so many people.
You know how Xander Hall is like a nothing burger? This guy is just somehow beneath that. I don't know what.
Is a nothing burger of Xander Hall. Wow.
I like having like dementia and like you're just happy to get rid of it.
It's hard to remember.
Oh, I remember this guy. It's
some British bloke saying nothing, and you just sit there going, no, that's wrong. I can argue with things I disagree with other people if they disagree with me. That's totally fine. I can do that. People do it all the time. I'm not some cruel person. I'm not evil. I'm not a hater. We came to the logical conclusion that you can only say positive things until someone says that's a negative, and then you can't say anything at all. It's ridiculous. But
I always feel that whenever someone says Smud's really horrible and evil, he just stands there and like points to me and goes, "No, I'm not Hawk. I'm Smud. I'm nice."
Yeah, Smud is really nice. I'll agree there.
Yeah. Okay.
Or like with LitDev as well. It's always funny when someone ends up saying that LitDev is a horrible, mean person. As someone who's great friends with LitDev, I say, no, he's really fucking nice. He's one of the nicest people I know.
I would say that he is just too nice, even with these like weirdos.
LitDev is someone who is too nice that he won't properly criticize like your like his friend's media. Because I've said, hey, LitDev, what do you think of this? And he'll say, oh, that's really good. I love it. It's like, well, could you maybe criticize it a little bit more? It's like, no, it's just really good. And then I give it to Glib, and then Glib's like really critical of it. And that's kind of what I need. But I think LitDev still understands you need criticism. He's not very good at giving it to friends.
I feel like he's very critical if like it's something that he's extremely passionate about.
Yeah, he is very critical if it's someone he's passionate about.
Yeah.
Okay, let's keep going here.
Boy. Or of course, if it's something which he doesn't like as well, he'll be very critical about that.
Here's Strawman for the 5. Thank you, sir. Gamergate inside job. Everyone knows gamer girl bathwater can't melt steel beams. Open your eyes. What's next? G Fuel in the water, making the frogs gamers.
Mm-hmm.
Wow.
Yep. Mm-hmm.
G Fuel in the water is turning the frogs into gamers.
Is that Angry Joe's product? What is G Fuel?
G Fuel is. It's not Angry Joe's product. It's something he pushes though, and they sponsor him a lot.
Oh yeah, okay.
It's like a more healthy energy drink for gamers, I suppose.
Oh, I thought it was like protein powder or something like that. Okay.
Mm-hmm. Is it just something that so they can lie and say gamers know where the G spot is?
No,
I have fuel.
Yeah, look up G Fuel, and it's gamer energy drink.
All right.
And it's like a powder, like you put in like a shaker bottle, like a protein shake. But it's not a protein shake.
PewDiePie...
So why the fuck do you need a protein bottle?
Didn't PewDiePie make his own brand of that or something along those lines?
Oh, yeah, they have PewDiePie flavor.
Yeah, I thought so, yeah. Okay.
With like Swedish meatballs or something.
All right. I mean, I'm not a sugar drink kind of guy, but unless there's alcohol. But yum.
I've never had G Fuel. Yeah.
Yeah, it's not something that
They have a bunch of YouTubers who I don't fucking know. I can't tell you who half of these people are.
Yeah.
So there's Saving the Bees, PewDiePie, Roman Atwood.
I was going to say Roman Polanski, and then I was like, shit.
Zazzy Clan, Noisy Butters, Logic, KSI, Alex Zedra, iFolia, Summit 1G, and XQC.
Can you imagine us being
These are all
sponsored
people which support G Fuel, and I can't tell. I only know PewDiePie. I don't know the rest of them.
Like all we would do is just like sell scotch. It's like just buy some Werners or buy some Weisers, or if you like.
I thought you were going to say buy some Werther's Originals. I thought, well, that's not a scotch.
No, there's all kinds of weird names, but yeah, Lagavulin would probably be up there, but not everyone's gonna like. Yeah, just get the scotch. Just buy scotch. Forget the freaking. Just get the good stuff.
But one thing I always find funny about the fact that they bring up Gamergate and everything like that is that I know that in the future, either my child or children or my grandchildren will have to learn about this in history, and I just wonder what they're going to tell kids what happened with like. My kid will come home one day and goes, "Dad, I learned about Gamergate," and I was like, "Yeah, I was there," and it was nothing like. It's like, how did you survive through it? I'm like,
I was there. It's gonna be like talking about Vietnam.
Yeah, I know, but I have a feeling that he's gonna be back going, "Oh, it was so bad, it's so dangerous, people were dying." I'm like, no, they weren't. It was pretty tame.
It was a thing on the Twitters before it went away. The hashtags.
I still find it completely bizarre. Of like, it's like two people having different conversations. It's like, hey, look, you've been like, games journalism has been making narratives this entire time and conspiring to make up stories, and then the journalists are like, oh, these people are just sexist and racist. Like, no, that's not.
No. What it was a group of people saying that journalists are liars and they make up stories. The journalist response was to lie and make up more stories. It's like,
yeah,
right.
But then people just kept calling Gamergate like racist and sexist. Like, but that's not even what Gamergate was even fucking talking about. And then Angry Joe says, "Oh, you know, if you want to support more ethics in journalism, you don't have to associate with yourself with such racist and sexist people." It's like, whoa.
No, just associate yourself with Jim Sterling, because that's the fucking safe bet to go with.
Oh, God. Jim Sterling, who lost his fucking mind.
All right. Let's.
And obviously, no, Jim, it's not because you're batshit crazy that people have been jumping ship from your channel. It must be because you're transgender now. That's the.
Oh yeah.
That's the reason.
Oh my God.
It's really because he's still running under Jim Sterling. So
he's called Stephanie now.
His channel is still Jim Sterling though.
Why didn't he call himself Jennifer or something that could Jen Sterling?
Well, I think he wanted like Stephanie Sterling. It's like the two S's. It's alliteration.
Oh, but he wanted to be known as the SS.
That should be his channel now, the SS.
Well, he dresses pretty close to it. So.
Oh my
God. Not anymore.
Not to say Hugo Boss is a bad look, but you know.
No, he dresses so weirdly. It's like, you know, when we covered it.
He used to look nice in the suit, didn't he? Like the suit works for fat people because it's like broadening and it kind of gives a better line over those horrible fat curves.
Yeah,
it's slimming. But then Jim Sterling takes off the suit and just becomes a fat blob wearing a wig, and I don't want to be mean. What am I saying? I want to be mean to him. He's a twat.
Okay.
Yeah, but
the
worst thing about it though is when he used to dress up as a woman.
Oh God, guys, please stop.
No. He dresses up.
Okay, let's move on. Let's move on.
That was Jim Sterling?
No!
Please stop talking about Jim Sterling. Okay, please.
No.
Talk about the super chats, man.
All right, super chats. Yay!
Super chat. Hey.
White Knight
Jim
Leo.
Sterling.
Thank you for the 5. Best Batman story I've seen in years is the Cattails web novel by Christina D. It's based on the BTAS continuity, leagues beyond any recent comic. I wish I knew what you were talking
series.
about. Hey, give me a minute. Do you know that series at all?
That one in particular, the one with the comic based on BT on the animated series, I know a little bit, but then again, most things that come out of the animated series are pretty good anyway, on an average.
Good point. Okay. Yeah. It's
Well,
beyond
let's
my
not
knowledge.
start that discussion again because
All right.
Southpaw might magically appear.
Oh yeah, he's talking about Batman now.
Well, Well, where the fuck have you been, Smurdy? He's been talking about Batman for ages.
I thought it was Spider-Man.
He was talking about Spider-Man, but then he started
went
talking
after
about
Batman
how,
the animated series.
Oh, really?
He's saying that Batman the animated series is not well written.
Wow.
I did watch Heart of Ice of him. I do agree that there are problems in that story, and one which I even noticed was, wait a minute, where does Mr. Freeze get his suit from? Because last we see him, he's dying next to the tube as he's being covered in like the chemicals from the frost stuff or whatever. And the next time we see him, he just has this suit. How did he get out of this room if he now can't survive outside of sub-zero temperatures? And he can't make a suit in that room. So there are problems with it. I will agree. That one specific episode, but I can't say about the entire season because I haven't rewatched the entire season with the same lens.
I think the main thing is the reason why we think of the BTS as so great is because everything else has been so shit compared to it.
I think that it's a great series to grow up on. That's one of the things. It's very fun. It's got some of the best representations of these characters.
Yeah,
I think Kevin Conroy was really. Kevin
Yes.
Conroy has become the iconic voice of Batman. So has
Mark Hamill
with the Joker, and it's also set the new standard for a lot of these characters, like Mr. Freeze. Before Mr. Freeze was just a guy who throws stuff. He didn't really have a story beyond that, but now he has that element of now he has the element of tragedy with his story about his wife, and he is just a person who will do anything to try and save the person he loves. He's taking that to the extreme, and there is a relatable element there as well.
Give credit where it's due.
Okay, can I finish?
Oh, sorry.
Yeah, and then also Harley Quinn, another iconic character which was introduced. So it does some fantastic groundwork and some of the best of these iterations of the characters. But obviously it does waver, I would say. And that's as far as I can go without digging more into it. Supposedly, Southpaw was going to, with Evan, go over more of the series with me, but he's yet to call me back, and he hasn't made another stream about it either. So it's up in the air what's going to happen next.
To give credit where it's due, it's like when back in the day when even Schumacher was acknowledging the revised history of Mr. Freeze, you know that series definitely changed the landscape of not only like DC the animation, but just like the DC universe in general.
Yeah.
All right, more super chats. We'll get back to the video as soon as you guys stop giving me money. So please stop. Here's Comicsgate.
Give Smud more money.
No,
give him money to annoy him.
Stop it.
People are giving you money, Smud.
We're never going to get away out of this talking loop, and someone gives a super chat, and we just keep talking.
It's the
I blame
Smudcast.
you, Shiny.
It wouldn't
it's you.
It wouldn't be the Smudcast without incredible tangents which are completely unrelated to the original topic.
Also, your friendly reminder that it's better to do it through Streamlabs rather than a super chat.
Oh God, don't remind people, please.
The moment I entered, we suddenly started talking about Star Trek.
As much as I enjoy that, it's focusing on the topic at hand, which is probably the better idea. Anyway,
come on, guys. We got through the last video in less than 40 minutes. We can't be letting the team down. We've got to be fast now. Fast cast.
It might be my fault. I'll admit.
Speedrunning records.
All right, here is Comicsgate or Comicsgate again. This is what works at CIA these days, and there's a link I'll just post into the chat. And the next donation after that was Tila Eats the Poo Poo, which is completely unrelated. But thank you for that donation.
Okay.
She do indeed.
Yeah.
Okay. 2 more. We can keep going. Here's Mechanist for $1.11. Thank you again. Fat Jarbo wishes he was Kevin Smith. Okay. He aspires to be a fair. So to be a fair? To like a fairground? Like going to the circus? So he should be treated as one. He's so pathetic that he's not legally married. The woman he lives with wouldn't allow him to consummate the wedding. Well, if you live with the woman after a year or so, I don't know what state jurisdiction he's in, but you are now under common law marriage. So it doesn't really matter what you think. The tax man will figure that out for you. So
yeah,
the tax collector from hell.
Well, that's just how common law works.
But that's just the tax collector from hell. So you mean a tax collector? Okay.
Yeah.
They're all from hell.
Well, I mean Terraria, because in Terraria that he's literally in hell when you find him.
Oh.
Interestingly enough, some people do get married just for the tax benefits, but you have to know what the hell you're doing before you get married and why you do that. So anyway.
I do laugh. I actually got offered a job to be a tax collector during COVID.
Oh, wow. Good luck.
I didn't get it, unfortunately. But
wait, did you actually apply for it?
Yeah.
Why?
Why? Because you get a lot of fucking money.
So you become the thing you hate.
I become a thing that I hate, but I'm also earning nearly 40 grand a year, which is a lot more than I was on beforehand.
And then God said, no, you will go for other reasons.
Mateus, stop posting the link. Stop it.
And God said, no, you'll just spend your time on Smudcast talking about Comicsgate.
And go to hell for other reasons.
Yeah, and Stephanie Sterling, or whatever her name is now.
Yeah, the SS. You'll talk about the SS a lot.
Which happens to be our next donation.
I'm ashamed that I used to like Jim Sterling, because I used to find him pretty fun. I thought he said some like the good things about the games industry.
Shiny,
I thought that he was pretty cool, and I like his saying. It's like, oh, like thank God for me, and he had like a great intro. You know, the born different, born innocent.
Yeah,
it's
but
fucking
Yahtzee
good.
is much better. End of discussion.
Yeah, Yahtzee is much better, and Yahtzee has aged much better as well compared to Jim. Stephanie Sterling. I'm sorry, I'll respect her transition.
Well, Yahtzee is very humble as well. Like
Yahtzee is really good.
When you like see like him talk by himself, you don't have like that egotistical view that like Jim is doing right now. It's good.
I originally think that Jim Sterling's thing must. I thought it was part of his character. I didn't think he literally wanted people to thank God for him, but I think as he got bigger, it started to change from bait.
Wait. Context, Shiny.
As his channel grew,
thank you.
As his channel grew, I think his ego was actually getting bigger, not just fake bigger. And that's when he started kicking and screaming the moment his channel started going downhill. And it was only after his channel started going downhill that he transitioned and then started blaming his people being transphobic on leaving his channel.
Mm-hmm.
It's a bit like, I don't know, your girlfriend's about to leave you and then you go transgender to say, look, she's transphobic, she's trying to leave me. It's like, no, I'm leaving you for other reasons, you dick.
Yeah, I think. Yeah. So what's that last super chat? So we can move on with the video.
Yeah, it's like I was gonna say before we end up accidentally summoning Wisp into the Smudcast, let's move on.
All right. Well, the last super chat was in fact about Jim Sterling. Thank you, Woot mate. Morbidly obese Jim Sterling is still alive? ? Yes.
Yeah. It's called the 21st century. Fat people can still live, unfortunately. So, you know, medical science has moved on so that fat cunts like Stephanie Sterling and Movie Blob are alive and well.
We call that America, so that's okay.
I can't remember why I was talking to Anna a while back about Jim Sterling. It might have been because she didn't know who he was. Sorry, I'm always terrible when it comes to like transgenderism because I always refer to people using the wrong fucking pronouns. I'm so used to Jim Sterling, it's even more confusing that he still goes by the Jimquisition.
What was
that?
This
Is now Jim Sterling.
Wow.
Wait, hold on. Wait, what is this?
Why is he wearing a wig?
Yeah.
Oh, is it Jim Sterling? No,
this is what he used to look like.
Yeah, I just had dinner.
Compared to the new one.
Interested.
That is not a skit. That is legitimately how he looked in most of his new videos.
Well, this is the worst weight loss video ever.
He might have gotten bigger.
And yet somehow he's still more sane than Chris Chan.
It's like
it's a tough competition, and it's a very low bar.
You look at those two pictures, and you remember that meme where it was like that white guy turned into that black guy, and you think, I believe that more as a change.
Did someone say transgender?
No, don't someone wisp.
Too late.
What?
Hey, Wisp.
Hey,
Wisp.
Hello.
I can just feel Smud going. Yeah, I can just feel Smud going. Well, this is gonna be a 5-hour stream anyway.
Guys, the super chats aren't starting.
It's gonna be a while.
Around the super chats aren't stopping. Wisp just got here, and we haven't played.
Yeah.
Press play.
How about you read like the super chats at the end of the stream?
You know what?
Maybe just go with the video.
That's a great idea. Let's do that.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. Let's do this.
Okay, let's go.
Bring up.
Literally sucked her way into the comic industry.
Of course.
Is a dumpster.
Oh my
God. Wow.
Yeah. This was the pinnacle of Comicsgate. Before
Just stating facts.
Wait. The interview was the pinnacle of Comicsgate? I don't think so.
Comicsgate. Oh my god. No.
Everything.
No.
Smart. Everything is the pinnacle of Comicsgate, just like every black female character is the first black female character.
Oh my god. Oh my god, so based. What was said was so based and so funny. She sucked her way into the comic industry. She's a cum dumpster.
I don't think I would have put it that way. But
spitting.
Then again, it's going back to the whole idea of perspective and how people can make it you look bad.
Oh, let's put it this way though: that people, if they could, they'd boast about doing it. They just know that at the moment in time, we're not at that stage where people can just boast about sucking their way to the top.
Yeah.
All right. Here's the mechanics. Thanks for the $1.11 again. Sorry, I misspelled failure. Also, you skipped my chat on the Star Wars vid. I'll shorten it. Matt, really? I'll imagine surviving being forced choked by Vader. Okay. Only to learn of his death with no context. I'm surprised officers didn't just yeet themselves out of fear of rebels.
Yes, that is.
I guess, yeah.
I mean, first things first. One small flaw in your plan: being force choked by Vader. You don't survive. You're just giving. He just either gets bored or is just told to stop. So. Yeah. Also, if he died on a Death Star blowing up, I wouldn't be frightened of the rebels. I'd just be going like, shit. I guess the Force isn't that great. He's dead.
I'm more concerned about the officers that want to throw themselves out of an airlock because the Death Star just blew up as soon as Vader died.
Yeah. Yeah.
They're probably about to explode too, so I don't know. The information travels that fast.
Mm-hmm.
I still love that during the destruction of the Death Star 2, you can hear blasters firing in the background. So it makes me question, wait a minute, are the stormtroopers literally shooting other people trying to get to the escape pods? You built a space station the size of a fucking small moon, but you didn't put enough escape pods and an escape craft in there for everyone to escape.
No, it's like probably disobeying orders, and they are like leaving their posts. That's probably right.
They had
it's
to.
It's like Spaceballs. You would just need way too many escape pods.
Yes. Thank you, Wisp. I was just about to say the Spaceballs scene. It's just that.
Yeah, you can only have so many escape pods. Otherwise, you would have the whole surface lined with escape pods. For how many million staff has this thing?
Yeah.
Also,
you only have VIP escape pods.
Yeah, and you have to take into account that someo's got to get the zoo out of there as well.
It's the same design flaw of the Titanic. It's like, we can't fit enough boats. There's just not enough room.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. It's like the same design flaw of the Twin Towers. There's no parking for airplanes.
Not enough elevators that you can't use during a fire.
That was a very bad joke, and I do apologize for that incredibly bad joke.
Yes, please.
Oh.
Anyway.
So we are 4 minutes in.
Yay! Yeah. Let's go.
Also, the fact that one is almost 20 years old this year.
Oh yeah.
This September.
You know what's not 20 years? No, I'm not going to say it. Carry on.
All right.
I'm seeing scary images in the Discord channel of this blob called Jim Sterling.
Yeah, we're
yeah, guys. Yeah.
Let's not talk about that.
He'll surely come back to it.
No.
Yeah, no, we're not ever again.
Not you, but probably the Serfs. Probably.
But rolling back, yes.
He needs to fill 20 minutes.
Okay.
So do we.
Let's go.
We're aware of
back to the video.
Bigotry and misinformation that are at the core of this organized tantrum. I've seen a few of his sycophantic defenders saying that the interview was deceptively edited to make him look bad.
Okay, so how do you
because
feel?
It's a comedy show. It's Comedy Central. This guy is making a funny haha interview.
Yeah. Nobody,
I
no
feel like
professional
not even, like, this goes beyond like comedy because like it's very disingenuous because like the kind of subjects that they talk about, he makes them look like he's like the most racist guy he met in his life, pretty much.
Yeah, before you make a the German would be Verriss, baby persiflage, I don't know. Before you make an interview like that is a distorting negative satire, you need first the proper display of whatever the thing is about. Otherwise, if you only have this negative caricature of a lacking words, I was asleep for a couple hours. Need to boot up first. Before you make a negative thing like this, you need to establish the real one first. Otherwise, it's nothing but slander.
Yeah, this feels like the same level. This interview feels like it should be taken the same way as if you watch Borat, where it is just a joke, and that's it. I mean, I look at the poor screen we're on now with that black Superman. That's just stupid. That's not a serious interview. That is just a setup for a poor joke.
Look, he doesn't like a black Superman. Yeah, because most fans wouldn't like a black Superman, not for like race reasons, purely because it wouldn't look like Superman. And you just
it's not a base Superman.
Like the look of Superman is very iconic to his character. When you think of Superman, you think of a very specific looking person. You don't think of a fat, obese white guy. You don't think of a Hispanic person. You think of like a big, strong guy, an American who lived in Kansas his entire life, and he is just a country guy.
Yeah, and to use go on.
No, I'll let you finish.
Okay, and to use an interview, a joke interview that is deliberately cut apart to make him look even worse than he is, as evidence, is insane.
Yeah.
Maybe you could show some real evidence.
Another reason for why
I think the real footage is out there somewhere, I think I remember. It's long. It's very long ago. But I think the actual full interview footage is out, and it's completely tame. This is what you do in yellow press. What I did here.
Also, to go back to Black Superman, it's like we brought it up before, but there was actually like an Elseworlds Black Superman that was the president of the United States, and I don't remember anyone complaining about that.
Oh yeah, and then you have the Superman from all the other
Superman that became president of the United States.
And Elseworlds Black Superman that was the president of the United States, which was a separate.
Was he fucking Obama?
Yeah, the one that was like basically an analog for Obama. But then again,
why
it's
is
like
every black president is just basically Obama?
Yeah, but the point is, it's like I don't think anyone complained about that, mainly because it was an Elseworlds and it was a different character from Clark Kent to begin with, and it worked.
The problem is specifically making Clark black.
Exactly,
that's the issue. It's like you don't get a skinny British lad to play Captain America. It's not for any other reason other than they don't look the part.
I'm glad you say that you don't get a British guy to play Superman. I'd be like,
Okay, imagine a Welsh.
Because it's not based upon race. It's just purely that you need to have the character look like the character.
It's purely from a character and design standpoint. It's nothing to do with race.
Also, I don't think Superman would work well as a black character, especially since Jim Crow laws would still kind of be in effect on him. You know,
I guess
time period he's set in.
Yeah.
Here is Woolmate. Thanks for the donation again. China is upset there's no Super Chinaman.
Okay.
There's probably a Chinese version of Superman out there somewhere.
Chinaman.
Hey, there's a Russian, there is literally a Russian Superman. So Red Sun. So
yeah, but that's an Elseworlds, and he's not exactly a protagonist. Well, I suppose he's the protagonist of the story, but he's not a good guy. He oppresses his own fucking country.
Well, if you guys ever delve into Chinese manhua or manhua, however you pronounce that, the main genre is about cultivation, so they already have their flavor and version of Superman, not the classic story of the Western Superman. So, whole ballgame.
But they need to make copies of everything the West makes to not feel inferior to the West.
You know what? I don't think so.
It's like the jealous kid in class with inferiority complex that goes, "I have this thing too. My daddy just bought it."
Well, guys, we're forgetting. China already had its Superman, who was called Mao, and he's the greatest thing that's ever existed in China. He did no wrong.
Literally thought you were going to say Jackie Chan.
Why did I say Jackie Chan when Chairman Mao was like their Superman? He was flying, beating up.
Or Bruce Lee, actually.
Wasn't there a Hungarian Spider-Man? There's all iterations of superheroes in other parts of the world.
The knockoff off-brand Superman.
A Hungarian Spider-Man. Mark, is this true? Did your nation make a version of Spider-Man?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yes. Excellent. Well, Mark's Hungarian. So he knows everything about Hungarian cinema.
Again, I just imagine like the bootleg off-brand shit you get from China. Like Bear of the Interest.
Oh my god, it reminds me of that, was it like those Chinese toys where it's like the Justice League and it's got Shrek, Lightning McQueen from Cars.
Those are some good memes.
Yeah, I remember that from a JonTron video where he like brought it up and talking about bootlegs, yeah.
Oh man.
All right. Here's the mechanics.
Anyway, Black Superman.
One more time. Thanks for $1.11 again. You like 111. I don't know why, but you do. I always assumed that it was common knowledge that Vader was beaten in lightsaber combat and he was dragged off by Luke. Hearing that his body was burned on Endor, officers might think he was tortured and executed, causing them to freak out.
I think that's true, from what I can recall.
That's a fascinating reaction to learning one of your superior officers died and that you would freak out over that.
Well, Well, we say that, but people shot themselves in the head when Hitler died, so...
Well, that's...
Well, probably because they were going to be arrested as war criminals.
In part, but there were people so fanatical that this was basically their messiah dying. The messiah, or even the, that he committed suicide. That's impossible. I cannot accept this world to exist.
Well, I suppose with recent evidence, it might. We don't even know if Hitler did kill himself, because the body, which we assumed to be Hitler's body, turned out to be the body of a female woman. He was like 20 years old.
Yeah,
so,
but that's
irrelevant. What if Hitler was the first transsexual?
Fucking Christ.
That is irrelevant to the news traveling.
Yeah.
He was progressive.
But at the end of the day, people kill themselves
He was
for a lot
a
of weird
socialist.
reasons. Just remember, guys, always remember that 3 women committed suicide when George Clooney got married. So people do kill themselves over the fucking weirdest reason.
Why do I get the? Why do I not believe you on that?
Why do you not believe
Most
me?
of people who killed themselves when like well, who like the women on Twitch that people simp over?
Why would I say 3 people kill themselves when George? Why would I lie about just 3 people? If I'm gonna lie, I'd say like 15 or 20. I'd make it a good number.
A good round number, I would say, would be like 20.
Yeah. Why did I just say 3? 3 people killed themselves. Like people kill themselves when Michael Jackson died. People kill themselves for weird reasons.
People kill themselves as an excuse.
It's just,
Anyway,
they just couldn't live. They just couldn't live in a world where George Clooney was married to someone other than themselves.
this has happened throughout history with other movie stars. It's not a big deal. It happens.
Yeah.
We have it currently going on with efforts all the time.
I mean, it's like with George Michael. When he died, it pretty much killed off all the public toilets in England.
No one's old enough. People just didn't want to go to public toilets because they were disgusting.
No one's old enough to get that fucking joke. I've realised how old I am with that joke.
Okay, let's keep going.
And let's after talking about literal shit, let's move on with the video.
Yay!
Does anyone actually use public toilets?
No, they're closed. The reason I said that is because George Michael got caught having numerous gay sex in public toilets to the point he was known as George Lavatory Michael.
Oh dear!
and that's how people found out he was gay. So, and it's also illegal to do that in the UK. So he got arrested.
What a way to go!
I imagine it's illegal to have public
gay sex in public toilets, or just having public toilets sex in general?
Sex in public toilets, but he was having.
Well, I guess it's because it counts as a public space.
Yeah, and also it also counts because he was doing it next to the urinals and not in a stall. So it wasn't even concealed.
Anyway, that's a great story. We're going to keep going with the video.
Okay, a slightly less black Superman.
Yeah, no, that's actually better.
I have no doubt that there were some cuts in that interview that were done to Max.
Yeah, that seems like a pretty.
Oh, really?
You know, how
really?
could that happen?
Maximize comedic effect because, you know, it is a Comedy Central show after all, and Lil Dick Meyer knew that going in. So, you know, what's his excuse, right?
No,
but the words that he said are just right there. It's not like
you do not use that excuse.
Did he actually know that it was a jokey interview?
It depends on how it depends on how Comedy Central approaches him about it. Because they could be genuine, because they are part of this type of media that Myers is about, which is fun, entertainment.
Well,
you could try to make an actual thing about it, because the actual scammers we've seen years prior.
But it's also like the people who got interviewed by
Baron Cohen,
thought he was being legitimate as well.
Yes.
So they do lie to make these comedy things, because if you know that you're going to do a comedy interview, you don't answer the way that.
Oh, like he had absolutely no idea who these guys are. because like I think LD mentioned it on one of his streams that like this was the guy and Joe Rogan was the other one who could have went to have an interview. And your boy Zach kind of regret going for Comedy Central now, but yeah.
And it's always important that when you're interviewed by whomever, usually you don't know whether the people are legitimate from what, or you don't have time to check for what paper they're from, what the standing of the paper is, etc. Because this was everyday stuff. When we're doing the political party shit, that random members of the party were asked for interviews by random papers, some of them so right-wing that just giving them an interview was proof enough for Antifa to say we were a extreme right-wing party, while at the same time we were being subverted and taken over by Antifa, for them to have more reason to attack us. That there was barely any control. And what we learned is every time someone takes an interview with you, you have to demand that one, you have your own recording device going, whether it's just audio or even full video. Secondly, and this is an issue of privacy and data security rights. I don't know. I'm lost on the English terms at the moment.
Data protection. Yeah.
Thank you. And basically the whole individuality thing. That you request a copy of the full interview material when you do this. So this is important so that you can defend yourself in case something like this thing here happens. Because cutting Myers up like this is slander, or libel, or whatever the English term is that applies here. We cut them up differently. I think the English cuts it up into spoken and written stuff. We cut it up in Germany into completely lying about you, like putting words in your mouth that you didn't say. Alleging
whenever in Germany
to you that you don't have,
I'm just
versus
desperately trying to come up with Nazi jokes.
Versus shut up. Versus just twisting your words. So completely lying about you, like saying the opposite about you that is actually your position, versus just twisting your words into something different. That's what we differentiate between.
Yeah, because there's a difference between slander and libel, is it? There's like things, yeah.
Yeah, and here they are twisting Myers' words by cutting the content up.
Yeah.
The words are his, obviously, but they're cut up apart into giving him a different context and making him look worse than he is.
Yeah, it's literally the Scooby-Doo scene. And this is what makes it so not like funny laughable, but as in like pathetic laughable. It's like a kid's movie from the year 2002, like made jokes about what journalism what these idiots use as legitimate tactics. And it's like, you should have learned, if a kid's movie can't teach you that these are tactics that you use, so don't believe journalists, like, look for yourself. And yet people's like Soy Boy Central, who's on the screen right now, is going, no, look at this evidence, no, like that. It's like, you are just the biggest fool. And I understand why you believe what you believe, because only people with no brains believe what you believe. And I honestly, hand on heart, believe you have no brain.
Yeah, and it's just slanderous propaganda that in the long run, because Myers is trying to make actual content that people like the classic stuff, telling the classic stories that work, that are internally consistent, that have well-written characters. That's what he's trying to do. Well, Comedy Central is more and more going for crap that makes no sense, just like Marvel Comics, just like DC Comics. Just like everything else that gets the socialist culture war self-destruction protocol injected.
Yeah.
All right.
Yeah, exactly.
We're at 4 minutes. That's not very good, but we've got lots of people talking. It's okay, understandable. Let's keep going.
It's not together entire sentences. The stuff he said was just downright embarrassing for any grown man to say publicly. I'm sure it feels good to type that kind of crap.
No, if you want to critique him, you should go for the actual full footage and not the cut up interview.
Yes.
Also, the clips that he's saying, where he's like, "Oh yeah, it's better when Superman looks like Superman." What's wrong about that? What's racist about that?
Mm-hmm.
That's
are you trying to move
race? It's just aesthetics and physical look.
This person doesn't look like Superman. Doesn't look like Superman. Yeah. But Superman can be anybody. No.
It looks better when he's whiter. Yeah.
No. But that's the thing. It's like this is the problem. If someone goes, Superman can be anybody. It's like no. Superman is a singular.
No, that's
person.
Spider-Man. Spider-Man can be anybody.
No.
Cannot literally be anybody.
No. All the heroes are a singular person. The values that they, live by can be had by anybody. That's the thing that these progressives don't understand.
Mm-hmm.
It's not about who the hero is, it's what they do. That everybody can aspire to be like that.
Yeah,
it's not that everyone can be Superman, not everyone can be Batman. It's everyone can have the values that these characters have. And that is why new characters, progressive characters, are nothing. Because their values and what they aspire to be are fucking scum. It's they're narcissistic psychopaths. Mm-hmm. I mean, Ray, what does Ray have?
Ray is nothing. Ray's
absolutely
nothing.
He is just powerful without deserving it or even training for it.
Yeah,
she doesn't. At least she doesn't even have a personality.
Yeah, but it's like
these Marvel characters, these SJW Marvel characters, they're all horrible psychopaths, like you say. Ray doesn't have anything, at least.
I liked it when John Boyega was asked to choose between Ray and Kylo Ren, like who would win a fight and what's like the better character, and John Boyega said Anakin Skywalker.
Awesome.
Yeah. Well, John Boyega was so done with Disney.
Well, yeah, but by Rise of Skywalker, he was like, "No, fuck it, I'm out."
Yeah,
I really like John Boyega. He turned out to be incredibly based.
Yeah.
Shame, but he played such a comedic, bumbling buffoon.
He just had to do
literally nothing.
Well, he hated everything about that. That's the thing. It's like he played the fact that he played his character as well as he did, while also hating every single fucking second of it, says something about his acting ability. To be honest.
Well, he also was being paid a lot. So if I was being paid millions to be in a film, I think I'd be pretty happy with that arrangement.
The horrid thing is that you get to be on Star Wars. That's the premise you go into. I mean, it sounds like you will be remembered in movie history forever.
Mm-hmm.
And then these movies turn out this.
Yeah, people will
like they're so hated.
For the good reasons.
They're so hated that the fans hope, and some people in the industry may be working on decanonizing them.
Well, you could say that John Boyega's attitude is very similar to Harrison Ford's attitude for slightly different reasons. And they both sort of shun the concept of ever being involved with another Star Wars or talk about interviews.
But for different reasons. As John Boyega is he's just complaining, he is complaining about his character because of how they have treated him. And he claims it's because of race. I don't think it's because of race. I think it's just because of incompetency. But Harrison Ford wasn't unhappy with his role because his character was shafted. He was unhappy with his role for various other reasons, mostly because he didn't care and he wanted to be killed off.
The setup for Finn at the end of The Force Awakens was well enough.
You
could have done.
He didn't do anything in Force Awakens, and they'd already kind of fucked his character by the end of the film because he is just the bumbling buffoon best friend character instead of being a grizzled fucking veteran who worked for the bad guys and decided it's like, oh wait, no, I'm the bad guy. I need to do something.
Yeah, but for the weak writing of it,
Rebels,
you can work from that position.
When
just
Rebels
that after that
has a better defection story than your fucking, what was it, $1 million movie. That's
almost anything has
saying
them. That's because Abrams can't write for shit.
Thanks, Filoni.
And then Johnson fucks it over completely.
Agent Callus. I'll say that Agent Callus, from how he was represented in the first season of Rebels, is not redeemable. He fucking kicks his own men into a chasm of basically killing them. And would be telling me this person was like a good person this entire time? Fuck off. No.
Oh no, that's
he's basically turned away from the Empire just because he's met Zeb, and then he says, "Oh well, I'm going to become an agent for the Rebels." What is that? What is that? What are you doing? You don't do that.
Better than
Finn. You have situations like that
with
with undercover agents on the regular. They need to prove the worst kinds of situational tests that are not even put before them by other people, but where you just need to keep in character.
No, but it
and
wasn't
commit
even
an
a
atrocity.
Test.
That's
he
a
just
normal
kicked
thing.
his own fucking trooper in the hole. It wasn't a requirement put on him. He wasn't even a spy until after he met Zeb, but he was only made as the irredeemable villain. And then they wanted to turn him around. But at least when they turned him around, even though it was incredibly weak because it was just done in one episode, he still felt very bad about all the atrocities he had committed. They fleshed out his character a little more. And like he talked about more about how he exterminated, Zeb's race, and he did feel bad about that. Which, okay, something I'll point out again in the first season, Agent Callus was incredibly proud of. He's like, yeah, I killed your race. I killed one of the royal guards, and I took his weapon, and I added a blaster to it and modified it. I'm ranting about Rebels. Agent Callus is a bit of a contradictory character, but he's still better than Finn.
It was still better than Finn. Thanks, Filoni.
Yeah, that's not hard, even with Filoni's writing.
Whenever it comes to Filoni, I just feel like the bar is so low right now that that's the reason why everyone wants him. And even then, I think that a lot of the thing is just projection. You know, like when you got someone you like and then someone you dislike, and you project onto the person you like that they're on your side, and then it turns out that the person you like wasn't on your side the entire time, and actually is more likely to support the person which you don't like.
No, he's just relatively better. That's all. He's just relatively better, as you say. The bar is so low that, okay, it's not buried at least.
No, but the projection of Dave Filoni is somehow unhappy with his position at Lucasfilm, I think is incredible. Just a fan invention.
I wouldn't say in that case that it's projection. It's rather grasping for straws, and Filoni is a straw.
No, because it's the fans see Filoni as this person who's this great creative. He's behind the Clone Wars. He is the prodigy of George Lucas, and he's the one person who isn't going batshit crazy in Lucasfilm. And
is it really that bad? Is it really that bad? So because I like the Clone Wars, but I have so much to complain about.
Let me finish.
You talked over me with Nazi crap. Shut up.
I said I wanted to make a Nazi joke, but I'm being serious. So, anyway, what was I saying? Yeah, upholding Filoni. That I think that Filoni doesn't even the way that the fans look at Filoni, I think, is misaligned with Filoni and his actual position. I don't think he actually cares too much right now about his position at Lucasfilm. He's doing pretty well. I don't think he's has that much of a problem with the sequels. In fact, he's praised them on several accounts. You might just say that's corporate, but at the same time, you have to think, well, there isn't really any evidence to go on that Filoni actually has a problem with anything happening at Lucasfilm right now. All we know is that he's not putting political bias in all of his media.
Mm-hmm.
And I will say that Dave Filoni also made a Mary Sue called Regina Red.
Guys,
let's keep going.
We're talking about Star Wars here. We're 4 minutes into a comic go.
Here's Tyler Preston Cosmic Gator. Thank you, Tyler. Jim Jeffries is a well-known liar. Avi Yamini recorded an audio tape exposing how much of a liar this Australian hack is, who also got...
Oh,
Avi...
yes! That's what his name is.
Yes.
Jim Jeffries. Shit, yeah. I thought I recognised him with his stuff. Yeah, no, this guy, he's a complete nut hack. Yeah, he's not even that funny.
So forced.
They even removed him from Comedy Central.
Oh yeah,
because he was exposed.
Yeah. So forced adversity, the guy on the screen, is purposely spewing lies in order to smear Comicsgate as a hate group. We've heard those before. Yeah, it's nothing new.
Yeah.
Oh, Glib just gave a super chat. Hey, Hawk is a scam and also incredibly bigoted. We know that already. That's fine.
Glib.
Yeah. No, it's fine.
Question is
Well,
the guy
that's what I expect from a Southern Canadian like Glib, so it's fine.
The guy on screen, is he only out of lip sync for me, or is that the general thing with the video that the Serfs is playing?
This is what
because it looks like some
He
bad
has
Chinese.
lag. He has lag.
Yeah.
Okay. So it's not because I was confused that it looked like a bad Chinese dub.
Yeah, this is what happens when you have a video and you're taping yourself watching a video. When we're watching said video, it's just going to keep slowing down.
Yeah.
Anyway.
Crap, Twitter screen or whatever, but when that kind of delusion meets the real world, it's going to sound pretty stupid to most sane people. Richard Meyer is a 12-year-old spoiled brat in a grown man's body, entitled, misogynistic, transphobic, racist, all the hits.
Wow.
Do you have any evidence for all these claims?
Now we're at projection. This is projection.
Yeah.
Where's
something. Fuck what this guy, who obviously the only sexual encounter he's ever had was with a drunk uncle on Christmas when he was 8. Like, what? These people
Hawk,
fucking,
you're very
like,
generous there.
Seriously, these guys, when they come out with such bullshit, that honestly, like, my bullshit detector fucking blew up when that just came out. He's a misogynistic. Nothing you've shown has said that he's misogynistic or sexist or anything at all. You've literally just taken clips from an Australian comedian. I put comedian in quotation marks. You're taking clips from an Australian cunt who made unfunny jokes to smear somebody, and you're using it as like the fucking gospel. It's like Adam and Eve with the apple is a more believable fucking story than anything that you spout. You useless neckbeard, glassing-wearing, stupid cunt. Honestly, I'm glad you're probably going to die alone.
Whoa. Yeah, and for them, it's the same litany of demon words that they spew.
Yeah,
it's like a triangulation target paint on. Well, if I say the magic words, if I cast the spell, this one will be seen as evil.
Yeah,
without ever bringing up any substance.
Yeah, no it's just at all. The fact of the matter is that list that he just said now, he reeled it off so quickly because it's just his go-to fucking list for anybody who disagrees with him or anybody who. Yeah, but the thing is, I even say disagree because at the end of the day, no one can agree with these people because next week they'll think the exact opposite of what they thought this week. This is the thing. This is how you know these are pathological liars. These are grifting dicks who do not actually believe in anything. They have no moral. There's no morals. There's nothing to stand for.
They believe in the narrative.
They believe in the narrative.
I tell you what
they believe. Whatever is told.
Yeah, they believe in what they are told is the narrative.
Give me a second. What they believe in is by all means necessary. When you understand what that really means deep down, like sit down for 5 minutes and think through what all means necessary to achieve whatever goal they have includes. All of this makes sense and is consistent.
Yeah, well, yeah. Once you realize it's all just put.
Well,
that is why Antifa uses fascist strategies. That is why socialists are fine with genocide, with mind control.
It's
with
because of
absolutely
the
everything.
obsession. Like if you are like obsessed with a certain political belief, it really does become kind of the mentality of all by any means necessary.
It's not a mentality; it's a slogan.
Well, if you describe
No, but it is a mentality though.
The slogan makes a mentality. Part of this religion is that if you are a part of us, you can do anything as long as it is in the name of the religion. As long as it is in the name of our God, you can do anything. You can maim babies if you want.
Yeah, but the reasoning behind it is usually the reason why people go to such extreme levels is because of the obsession that they have with like certain political ideologies, and then they reason everything they do behind things like, oh well, it's fine, I can do this to this person because they're a horrible racist, sexist person, and they don't even need to bring evidence to it. It's just like that's how they rationalize it. And
yeah, that's what all the radicalization and brainwashing is for.
When you talk about the all means necessary thing, it is more about that they will just rationalize anything they do, any horrible thing they do to a person, like for example, trying to get someone cancelled and like fired from their job. It's because in their mind they deserve it because they're some horrible person. It becomes a crusade at this point, and that's why I'm talking about like the obsessive element. And when you look at a lot of these people who are so obsessed by their politics, it's always because they lack some kind of fulfillment in their life. And when people lack fulfillment in their life, it leads to obsessions in other areas. And
it leads to that they need that tribe.
The obsession becomes political because they look for a higher fulfilling purpose. So they try, because they don't have anything for themselves, someone else tries to, they look for in other places, and that is where they try to find it in politics.
Yes, that's why I've been talking about them looking for their tribe and their Oedipal parent, which can be either the state or a religious figure.
I don't think it's the tribe or godlike figure.
That's what.
I think it's just like that they look for higher. They look for a higher purpose.
It's both. It's both. They find that in the group. You can find that in a cult because the cult has a message and a purpose for you, and the socialist cult, therefore, tries to destroy the family, whether it's the extended family, whether it's this already broken nuclear family, because that is already missing pieces. Because once you do not have that, you are alone, and we are herd animals. We need to belong to a tribe. There's very few people who can be actually free on their own feet without anyone else. Most people need other people, and when you do not have a family, and there's a cult or a cause or something that pretends to be a cause coming along and tells you, hey, we are caring for each other, we love each other, then people join that.
To interrupt you very quickly, a lot of these social justice warriors, these people who are obsessed with their politics, something I have noticed is that a lot of them do have families. They have friends, they have wives or husbands. No. I've met SJWs who do have boyfriends, girlfriends, wives, husbands. What? Like, it's not like they don't have family, and that's why I'm saying that I don't think it's the tribe element. But I do see that the people obsessed with social justice lack fulfillment in their life, which is why they try and find fulfillment in fighting for a higher cause. And this can be like, oh well, we're going to fight for social justice, or we're going to fight for
they don't even know what social justice is.
And we're going to fight for
thing with these things
whatever. And
they have families on paper. I'll explain to you how this worked. In East Germany, for example, we had families on paper. We lived together in the same apartment for 20 years, and we didn't know each other because the parents were working from dusk till dawn, from dawn till dusk, that way around. Usually out before the children even need to go to school. And then the parents come home late, don't have time for the kids, are exhausted, Maybe the kids stayed with the grandparents, which isn't usually in another apartment. If the grandparents still lived,
That
usually it's
doesn't
only
even
the
apply to-
grandmother because she's dead. And that's like living with people that you never know. On top
I
of
don't
that,
think that's
on top
the
of
vast
that, it
majority
starts
of
from
social
it
justice
starts from.
warriors.
I'm explaining East Germany to you right now how they destroy the family. You have a family, but the bonds in the family are so weak that this is what allows kids to turn on their parents because they have no real bonds to them. In East Germany, you pop out of the womb and you get into what we call the Kinderkrippe, the crib, which is like the kindergarten but for under 3 year olds. So right from then, so that the mother can go to work. So you have the state in control of the child from the very beginning. There's no true bonding between the parents and the children. Then you go to the kindergarten until school starts, and then you're in school. And then at some point, you're 18, you're 20 or whatever. Time for the workforce, time for university. You have no bonding with your parents. And on the weekend, they're too exhausted to do anything either. You have a family. You have a family on paper, but there is so little bonding there that it doesn't feel like a family.
So you're trying to say that every single social justice warrior, or like a critical part of being a social justice warrior, is that you lack familial bonds?
That is in part the case. Most of these people have broken families.
No, let me finish. You're saying that a vast majority of social justice warriors, they lack bonds, so they find it in like a tribalism mentality. But as I said, that there are social justice warriors, which I have known personally, that have had perfectly fine relationships with their families, as far as I could see.
Yeah, you're seeing this as a black and white issue. That's not the case.
But the thing is, what I'm talking about with the lack of film in their life is something which I have seen in almost every single social justice warrior I have met.
Yes, and the destruction of the family is one way on how to create this craving for a cause, for a reason in life. That's one. It's a multi-vector attack. You can create that in different ways. And the weak family bonds are one way to do that because it drives you to a cause can give you that. Because a cause is a group that works together to achieve something, so people take care of each other. That's what's lacking in these families. That's one way to achieve that.
All right, guys.
You've not been in activist groups.
Anyway.
Yeah,
let's keep going.
Considering how common it is for social justice to eat themselves.
Shiny, I've been in these activist groups.
Shani, Wisp. We can have this conversation some other time.
All right. Okay. We're good. I'm not going to read Glib's super chat because it's Glib and we all love Glib.
Glib!
Is he just insulting me? Because that's
yes.
fine.
Well,
invite him as well. Why not?
No. We're fine. We're good.
No, it's fine. It's fine. You can read it. It's perfectly fine.
It's there. Anyway, let's go.
Harassment against a lot of his critics, most of whom are women, people of color, or queer folks. So yeah, huge piece of crap. Meyer.
Wait, no. Before you move on, can you show us any of these harassment campaigns? Alleged harassment campaigns?
Your boy Zach called a woman a fake a fangirl.
Fake geek girl.
Yes, fake geek girl. Yes, that was it.
Is that harassment though? Is that just calling someone a name on Twitter?
Yeah, that got his suspended. Yes.
That's not a harassment campaign though.
Shani, don't start talking about harassment with everything. Being kicked off harassment, because I got kicked off of Twitter calling that guy who was harassing you a retard. So
true enough, but that wasn't harassment still. It was just some guys like following my Twitter feed, trying to comment on absolutely everything, calling me a Nazi or something.
Yeah, but see, that's harassment if he's commenting on every single thing.
I wouldn't even call it as harassment though. It was just that they were following my profile just to call me a Nazi.
Yeah, well, the
we
base.
are far too liberal with the term harassment these days, where it applies to almost everything. It's like, no, it's a specific term. Stop applying it to everything, for the love of God.
Yeah, I understand that.
A narcissist will call harassment the moment you, one, critique something justifiably. Two, when you enforce your personal boundaries, where the narcissist is waltzing over because the narcissist has no regard for anything, except for what the narcissist gets. And so when the person that gets waltzed over says, "Oh no, here, this is you're going too far. Stop here," the narcissist will go, "Wah, you're oppressing me." No, I'm enforcing my boundaries just like you would like yours. These people can't see any. It's like yesterday I had to throw out someone that was supposed to come here for help, new program shit. So you know I'm having some health issues, and this bloody asshole, allegedly with job training in you know, social stuff and psych stuff, comes here, asks me whether she can load her smartphone. So I say, yeah, of course, no problem. Plug it in, and she puts it half on my laptop and half on my just painted Warhammer figures. That the cable was long enough to just put normally on the table, but she put it on top her smartphone, this heavy hard item, onto my little tiny Warhammer figures, which for her is just junk. She doesn't know what that is. But even then, I wouldn't, if I come to someone, I wouldn't put my stuff on that person's stuff, especially when there's enough room around it. I would, if I don't have enough space to work or anything, I would ask, can you make more room? But this person just put her shit onto my stuff, the fragile stuff. And that's where I said, you can't do this. And from there on, you could say escalated, but I kept my cool. But after that, she went very passive-aggressive and tried to put up more traps. I wish I had recorded this. This would be prime teaching material. Like it went to the point, because I was talking very sternly. I was not shouting, I was not screaming, but she was calling it that. And it went to the point where I asked her, well, what should I do with my frustration? Because you should not. Narcissists try to shut down your anger, frustration, and similar, so that no critique ever goes to them, which is psychologically damaging, because if you keep this down all the time, it will poison you internally. And that is why the victims of narcissistic abuse are usually so confused and unable to even voice their concerns and their pain, because they've always been told to not complain, or at least because it's always framed as an attack and pure anger and all of that other shit. And a healthy emotional a healthy emotional balance does include anger and its variants. Like frustration, I'd say, is the smallest one of that, and a very necessary one. It requires all of those emotions in balance, and that you can express them. That's a healthy environment, because even those have their place. That this was such a situation, she wanted to deny me that, and I asked her, well, what should I do? What should I do with my frustration? Than talking like this. And as I said, I was just talking sternly, which sounds to her aggressive, because when you are a narcissist, you can't deal with the emotions of other people. You can't discern them from your own. She even said that my aggression, my anger was spilling over to her. Spilling over is the exact way.
What does this have to do with harassment campaigns?
I'm getting to that. So she even said it was spilling over to her, which is the exact thing that happens to narcissists, because just as they waltz over your boundaries, they don't even know where their own are. This is why they're basically, it's as if they're solipsistic, as if everything exists, everything that exists in their consciousness, is only theirs. So your emotions are part of their consciousness. And that makes them, but they have no control over your emotions. So they will aggressively try to shut you down and attack you in any way possible to make you go away, so that they don't have to deal with whatever harm. Your critique brings harm to them, because it puts a mirror up. Critique puts a mirror up, so that you see your imperfect self. A narcissist, consciously or unconsciously, thinks himself or herself to be perfect, and cannot stand the imperfect reflection that critique brings, or that you did something wrong brings, or that someone enforcing boundaries of you can't do this. The simple word no is unacceptable for a narcissist. That is what happened there. And she went to the point that she set up traps, because she said to me that instead of talking like that, maybe I should just slam the table. I should get physically violent. That was her suggestion. If you think this through, had I done that, I was completely baffled by that, because this is the opposite of what you should do. She wanted me to get physically violent, slam my stuff. Like when you slam your table, things fall off, just they can jump off. And she had her coffee mug placed on the edge of her side. So had I even done that, had I been stupid enough, this thing might have jumped onto her, splashed the coffee onto her, and she could have gone off and said, "Oh, I was physically attacked by this horrible person." And I didn't fall for that. Whether the mug was deliberately set up or not, the simple thing to tell the other person to slam the table is insane. It's the opposite of what you should do. So what the SJWs are doing is this very mechanic. You bring up a justifiable complaint, you enforce your boundaries, and they go in full attack mode trying to destroy you, because they cannot have this, because you are, at that moment, a reality check. And the narcissist lives in a delusion. The reality check is pain, absolute pain to them, psychological pain, because it forces a re-evaluation of their worldview. And that requires a lot of processing, that requires a lot of energy, and the brain usually wants to conserve energy. That's why people go into cognitive dissonance, where they then have to decide, usually unconsciously, am I going to integrate the reality check into my worldview, which means the more basic that error is that has been pointed out, the more I have to repair, rebuild, because all of the other stuff is hanging off of it, of that logic error. Or do I just skip that, discard the reality check, and then I can keep my bullshit worldview, because maybe that's just a one-time thing that this reality check came around, and the reality check is actually wrong. The delusional people, fine people will ignore the first reality check maybe. But when the second comes around, the third comes around, usually there's something like, maybe I'm the one who's wrong. The insane person will always stick with the broken worldview and reject every reality check, to the point where they will attack sources of the reality check. And that's where the SJWs are.
Okay. Thank you, Wisp, again. I forgot what the topic was. That's okay.
Harassment campaigns, and the guy didn't provide any evidence.
You could say it's a psychological, it's a frantic psychological defense reaction.
Well, I
would say that he's just retarded, and he's just trying to like.
I can have a more simple answer, which we've already talked about. It's just a simple ism and tism. They try and label to someone to say they're a bad person, to justify the horrible things they try to do to the other individual. It's that simple.
Yeah, that.
So they
yeah,
say your
that's,
boy Zach harassed
part of
women
it.
online, and therefore we're allowed to say and do anything back to them.
But
Because we're
honest to
justifying
God, your
it
boy
that he's a
Zach
terrible
did
person.
the right thing. Really.
Yeah.
Like, have any of you probably like Shiny knows because he's been fatality a lot, but like Mark Wade tried to destroy like Zach's career with Jawbreakers, and like he pretty much like hijacked the publishing of the comic book, and as a result of that, your boy Zach like sued the shit out of Mark Wade. And Mark Wade is like a professional writer at DC Comics. And he went as far to like contact the publisher who was supposed to deliver the comic book to like destroy that thing. And then he did the right choice. Like if they like throw that much shit at you, then you just like go to court about it. And ever since that, he shut up about it. And like this is like why I feel it like he's just doing exactly like what he should. Like there's like these wordless online criticism that he gets from these like jackasses. It's not worth to like reply to them unless they like trying to like hijack your livelihood. That's very much like how you should like treat them. Like, okay, let's have a court case then.
Yeah.
What are they gonna do? It failed. Like what they ended up with, like with Mark Wade, is that like they got to a tie, and both of them can't talk about it for 10 years. But like pretty much like Mark Wade had to like pay way more money to like get out of this, and like he can't like brag about it at all. What he did on Twitter and like in other circles, it's really disgusting.
All right, let's get back to the video. We're only 4 minutes and a half in. We're not going to get anywhere near halfway done. So,
yay!
I don't care to do this tomorrow. This is kind of pointless. A video.
To be honest with you, at the end of the day, it's Comicsgate bad because me certain ideology, so everyone else bad, and it's like, let's be honest with you, the guy we're watching looks like the sort of guy who bitches about Comicsgate. The guy covering the guy we're watching looks like the sort of person who bitches about Comicsgate and this sort of stuff. It's just, okay, we get it. You're both a pair of faggots. Okay, you don't like. You think you're morally superior to us, and you think you're doing great things. Whatever. Carry on being regressive assholes who are actually, the racist and the sexist. It's fine, whatever. As long as it helps you sleep at night, along with all the tablets you obviously take, because there's obviously something mental going on.
Yeah, which of these overly virtuous figures has turned out by now to be an actual misogynist, rapist, or pedophile?
I mean, come on.
I think it's always funny, on Twitter, you see every now and again.
A male feminist.
Like every now and again, you see these individuals on Twitter who are like always very virtuous, and they say we need to respect women, and then one of them ends up being a paedophile, or another one ends up actually to rape a woman, or like they're actually responsible for one of these things.
Let's put it this way, virtuous people don't need to tell other people they're virtuous because their actions speak louder than their words. So if someone tells you that they're virtuous, most likely they're not virtuous. Only the immoral talk about morals. So, anyway.
All right, let's go.
That's the last sermon I'll
comic
do.
Professional Mark Wade a few years ago, because Mark Wade was one of the many people who alerted Antarctic Press to Meyer's behavior
that.
Alerted. An interesting way to phrase it.
That's like fucking lies all over there.
Just his comic.
Let's
The
keep
publisher
going.
dropped his book, and Meyer decided that Mark Wade was the next target of his grift.
The target?
Yes, he had like
fucking
no legal
got his
reason
comic book
to shut them
cancelled.
down. That's a felony.
It was dropped by Meyer last year, and the parties agreed not to discuss anything publicly. The total raised for Meyer's book was $250,000 or so.
Anyway, we start off right here, and I got confused, so I go, oh, wait, what?
Yeah, that usually happens when you make an agreement because the cost of further pursuing the suit is too expensive for both parties.
Yeah, and also
that does not mean that in either of the sides is has been proven correct or not or wrong.
Okay, because I was seeing a lot of this going on when he cancelled his lawsuit. The reason why his next book did not make so much was because a lot of people was very pissed off with him because they were very invested in him trying to win this lawsuit, and to the entire Comicsgate, he made himself look like someone who's just going to roll over, and they weren't happy.
So, I remember that, and I can understand that sentiment because
that's the reason why
they thought he was the paragon who cleans up this mess that is these SJW assholes.
Yeah, he's going to hold them responsible, but then he didn't hold them responsible. And how much money did he raise for the lawsuit again?
A lot.
Quite a bit. Yeah. So that's why people were suddenly pulling them.
Yeah, because I think a lot of people thought he was going to be the next what was it with Sargon, the lawsuits, because when Sargon had that stuff about free use, and he took that SJW to court and absolutely annihilated it in court.
Yeah, as much as people.
Sorry, carry on.
As much as people will call you petty for it, and especially the losing side and the atrocious side will call you petty for it. You have to follow these things through if you can, because this movement listens to nothing else but hard consequences. Just as they always go on about, oh yeah, free speech is fine, but speech has consequences. These people are not just speech; they are always atrocious actions. And the only thing that helps against them is not nice words or words in general, because a narcissist doesn't give a shit about words, doesn't give a shit about apologies. Will always give false apologies because the narcissist knows, oh, words mean nothing. Words have no consequences.
Yeah.
They only understand hard consequences, things that alter their lives, like fines.
If you show that, okay, well, we're not going to roll over, that if you do actually try and come after me, then I'm going to sue you for legal like financial damages. Then
what
that's
was
going
I think with Mark Wade it was breach of contract.
Was it? Okay. Well, I thought it was.
The thing is, at the end of the day, though, with the whole thing, is it Mark Wade who was the people who was that Maya was suing? Maya probably didn't have the same legal team as Wade. And if Wade's team had said, listen, I don't think we can win this 100%, we're going to have to make a deal, because both sides have to agree to a deal. So from what it sounds like is when you go up against corporations or people from corporations, you're not going up against just another person. You're going up against like their legal team. So if you take if you take the idea that Maya was able to do that, to bring it to a draw, to the point where this quite clearly high legal team didn't think they could beat him in it and accepted a deal, it still you still should count that as a win.
Yeah,
it's just the fact, but it's also stopped because they can't talk about it for what Mark says 10 years. It's stopped lies about it. It's killed the whole thing dead in its track, as in there's no more slander coming from Wade. Wade can't do anything against Maya.
Yeah,
so it's done.
He would be breaking that.
Yes, and if he breaks that, that's against him. Plus, also anything that was against him beforehand would be brought up again.
It would essentially be self-destruction.
Yeah. So in this regard, the people calling this a win because Maya dropped it. It's like when someone drops something, there's usually it's usually been considered like, listen, this is a good outcome. This is a good outcome for you.
Yeah, it's rather that both mutually dropped it, and I think because the sad problem with justice is that it is sadly not as nice as Lady Justice as it should be regarding Lady Justice. It is sadly a thing about who has the most resources, who can win a
Yes,
war of
and
attrition, and
I can
the bigger
definitely-
party in that, if Wade continued, would instead just bleed him out until he can't act anymore at all.
Yes.
While the wrong and losing party that has more resources can still go on. This is not real justice, but it's how this
And
broken
this is-
system is at the moment.
And this is something I can definitely attest to. I knew an individual in America who lost her mother due to the incompetency of a hospital. They gave her the wrong medicine. The medicine led to making a situation, a certain condition worse, which led to the death of this woman's mother. And they went to sue the hospital over this, because obviously the hospital did a bad, they were responsible for the death of this woman. And they took him to the court for several years. And the hospital, all they did was wait until the family ran out of money. And because they stalled for so long and wasted so much time, no justice was brought, because it was simply just starving them out.
Yeah, this is why
The
at least
NHS
in the
recently
UK,
did a similar thing to a friend of mine.
well, my family's gone through a thing with the NHS, but that part of the family has actually got quite a bit of money, which I don't get to see, but hey ho.
Yeah, I'm looking forward to that lawsuit, honestly.
Yeah, but with that, if in certain conditions you can get funding for stuff.
Yeah.
So it's a lot more difficult in the UK to just sit it out, and also judges don't like their time being wasted. So if a court date gets arranged, you can delay it once, but if you try and delay it twice, the judge just goes, well, whoever's delayed it the second time, well, they're shit out of luck. They're not going to be able to represent themselves. We'll just get a solicitor there, bare basics.
Okay. Here is Vladimir Dragunov. Reminder that these people were banking on someone shooting up a theater showing Joker. Oh, that's a whole other.
Oh yeah, they were sad about it. They expressed their sadness that nothing happened.
Yeah, well.
And instead, what did we get? Stabbings at Frozen 2?
Yes, in Birmingham. Yeah, that actually happened. Yeah, stabbings, waiting for Frozen 2. I mean, I was
pretty aggressive.
I was waiting.
No surprise. Really.
All right.
I was pissed when I had to watch it.
Okay, let's go.
Yeah,
you think he's doing a boss run of all the classics. So you got your homophobia, your transphobia, all the phobias. He's doing
Examples, please. Where's the transphobia?
Why is a woman being drawn to be like sexy and alluring and fit and happy? It was just a bait and switch, because this is what we get. Yep. Take that, male gaze.
Complaining about a
male
drawing,
gaze, like-
complaining about a woman not being drawn sexy right after he talks about the woman being drawn sexy.
It's a common thing we
it was
get.
a bait and switch.
It's a bait and switch.
He was saying that the on the cover you have this really attractive drawing of Domino, and then in the comic book itself, it looks nothing like her, and there's none of that sex appeal. That's a valid thing, because if you're buying this comic book because you want to see some TNA, and then it's not got TNA in it, that's bait and switch.
And then it just gets sloppy cat lady.
Yeah, but here's the thing. There's a thing called the cover lies. It's a trope where people deliberately make a cover for, like, say, books, movies, video games, that make it look better than it is, and that's a problem. So it's a valid.
It is in part. It's called
the
false
covers are
advertising.
often how it presents the story, and if it misrepresents what the hell's inside, then that's a bait and switch.
Yeah, exactly.
It's also called false advertisement.
Yes, false advertisement. So it's a perfectly fine thing.
Remember when all the trailers for like Battlefront 2 saying, "Hey, look, we're gonna have the story from the Empire's perspective," and then by the third mission, they just go straight for fucking rebellion.
Yeah,
Wow.
I'm gonna go to the extreme example. Imagine you're buying a Playboy with a nice, wonderful, perfect woman on the cover, and then inside it's just articles or land whales.
And this isn't sexist, by the way, to say that this is a bait and switch. It's just fact. So
Yeah. I'm literally watching a video where there's 3 screens and the most intelligent thing on it is a dog wandering past. Anyway, we can continue or whatever because it's been here a long time.
Yeah, we're gonna go for another 5 minutes. Not by the videos,
show,
but by real time because I'm getting a headache. So anyway,
I shouldn't laugh.
Is that E or is that gaze? Like the gaze. There's gonna be no way of finding that one out. It's gonna be a tough one to figure out.
Are you being stupid?
Male gaze. Male gaze is not talking about gay people. Male gaze is the
What did he?
the sexualization of women.
What did he say? Did he mishear the male gaze as something about being gay?
I assume so.
Yes.
I suppose you have to hear it. One second.
While looking at the woman.
Let's hear it out.
Fit and happy. It was just a bait and switch because this is what we get. Yep. Take that, male gaze.
Is he saying male gaze like G-A-Z-E or is?
No, he isn't. You nitwit.
No, he is.
No,
yeah,
Z-E is correct. G-A-Z-E is correct. So let him finish. Let him finish.
I think he'd get okay.
Gaze, like the gaze. There's gonna be no way of finding that one out.
Okay, he really
He's
isn't
not
sure.
talking about the gaze.
he has
really
no
isn't
idea.
sure.
A
He
picture
really
of
isn't
women
sure.
is about
So for
males.
what?
It's because he really wants to see him as homophobic.
Wow.
He's projecting this.
This
It's
guy,
very obvious. He's talking
this
about the
guy,
sexualization of women.
this idiot, and I love saying this. I'm autistic. He's a retard.
Yeah,
This
I'm
retard
sorry,
does not even know his own fucking ideology and its propaganda.
I just cannot believe. I cannot believe that. Wow. The
People
male
are
gaze.
giving this guy money.
Do you mean
It's like when
gays or
the Young
gays?
Turks wanted to hear that. Remember when the Young Turks reported on someone saying that Black Lives Matter weren't peaceful, and they purposely misunderstood it as black people aren't people?
I missed that.
It's because they want to hear something, and they want to frame it as something that they just ignore the original saying, and then just go off on a tangent and say, "Well,
For the Young Turks, it's not that they want to hear a certain thing. They know exactly what they're doing. That's the difference between someone delusional and someone who knows who's a liar. And you cannot reason with a liar. You cannot, or rather, you cannot convince a liar of the truth, because the liar already knows the truth. This guy here, however, is such a complete dunce that I'm surprised he manages to water his plants.
Yeah, I'm sorry, but after this, I'm not interested in what this guy's got to say because there is no way that you can mistake the male gaze.
He just completely shot himself in the head.
Yeah, and then the way he says there's no way to be sure. Yes, there is, because it's called the male.
It's the context of the situation as well.
Can I just say something? When do we call gay people the male gaze? Because female gays are lesbians.
This has nothing to do with gay people. The context very
This
explicitly
douchebag-
is the sexy woman.
This retarded
That is what it
douchebag
is.
has not even watched Anita Sarkeesian's scam bullshit videos.
I'm just
Because she goes all over that all the fucking time, and he hasn't even watched that shit. Which proves that not even the left has watched that crap.
That's why I said at the beginning of the video that, like, I just think it's kind of stupid. That's all. You don't have to overthink it, really.
Okay, so this guy is a good example of if you have self-esteem issues where you think, oh, I'm just gonna be stupid on the internet if I make content. I think anyone watching this maybe even the people watching him have more brains than that and could make better content, even for his side.
Serious. I'm being serious, but the dog's the smartest thing on this screen. I'm being serious.
Anyway, guys, we're now going into stream memes. That's enough for me. This headache's not going away.
No stream memes? Oh my god.
Anyway, stream memes. Here we go.
Wait. You're doing stream memes now on the Smudcast?
Unfortunately,
it's been for months.
People making stream memes, and it's like, all right, I guess we'll do the same thing as
you frickin' copycats.
Well, the people who watch LitDev also watch the Smudcast, so it's kind of the same.
True enough.
Same.
We just made a channel so it's not all over the place.
Yeah. Anyway, 2 days without Mike Testa.
Our fucking thing.
Now, guys, just in case you don't know, Mike Testa is still around. He just has not been throwing money at us as much, which is
yes.
He's using his creative talents for other purposes, which is good.
He's out on the rice fields.
He's trying to make memes now.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well,
he actually messaged me.
Mike,
he's doing okay.
Who has been in a coma for 2 days and presumed dead, texted me this. I live, bitch. Michael, wonderful, thank you. Glad you're okay. Hans,
I'm glad you lived.
Comics sales have actually continued to rise every year. And here's an actual bar graph I was pointing to.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. So
what the fuck?
You may not know what math is, but if you're blind, I can't help you. That's all it goes.
Yeah.
2 + 2 is 5. Reality is what I make it.
Here's a character from One Punch Man. Hi, faggots. How we doing? Oh, jeez.
Oh, a black man, definitely.
Eric.
Oh, Eric, stop showing.
Oh my God! Transracial validity debate. Should society accept transracial people?
No,
because it's stupid.
It's delusional.
All of a sudden, I'm black. No, that's literally
it's
not
just
how
more...
you were born. How can you be born as like a different race in a different body?
Black clones.
It's a Munchausen delusion.
Here is the Serf Times. Nina for Congress, Canadian emancipation. Lindsey Graham Rona.
I'll tell you what the transracial thing is. It's just someone wants to be oppressed or like wants to be deemed as oppressed.
So, no, not just that. It's also it's race fetishism. We had this one guy who got an operation for his eyes so he can look Korean now, and he's now Korean, and all the Koreans are, what the fuck's wrong with you?
Yeah, well, I think everyone else is saying that too. Here's the Serf Times posting something. Colonizes half the world, and it's a British flag. Complains about immigrants. What?
And?
Immigration's a problem, regardless of whether you colonize the world or not.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, also, the colonization stuff is gone.
Yeah, of course.
What a strange thing to say. Here's another tweet. Pelosi versus student debt. I don't really care about the Speaker of the House, but okay. Priest, indigenous survivors are lying. Q conference. Rockfin exposed. Castillo sworn in. Unions global. What the hell did I just read? I have no idea. Let's see the actual meme he's posting. Extend capital to create livable working conditions. Frito-Lays. Force workers to work so much overtime that they die during their shift due to exhaustion, then force other workers to drag them off the floor and replace them to increase profit margins. And then it's just Elmo dipping his head into cocaine. I don't know.
Well, that is how you can call something actual slavery, because that's real exploitation. But how this is, I have no context. I have no knowledge of these things. Like,
you can, there are laws against this. So I don't
also this is what China is doing. Your communist wonder utopia.
Yeah, I don't know where is Frito-Lay's in the States or the factories elsewhere. I don't know. Who knows?
Yeah, and the thing on the left is what a healthy capitalist does.
I don't understand that. Yeah.
Well, Well, he's not smart, so he proved that very well.
Why is Shiny known as the Trash Man? What's going on here? Why is it an American flag?
No idea.
Yeah, I'm a bit lost. Comics, manga, just like
Pengu. Pengu is awesome.
This ain't nothing.
If you don't know Pengu, watch Pengu. Pengu is a wonderful children's
It's still going on, isn't it?
No, if I was going to rate children's programs, Thomas Tank Engine's better than fucking Pingu.
Well,
yeah,
we're all
but
laughing
Thomas
wrong,
has
though.
gone woke though.
True.
Thomas is creepy, nightmare-inducing. Pengu is just wholesome.
No, Thomas Tank Engines.
Has someone changed this guy's Wikipedia stuff? By the way,
I think he just edited the HTML.
It's like suddenly Gene Roddenberry's son. Okay.
Roddenberry.
California Roadie.
Yeah, but it's like February Roadie.
He is born Eugene Wesley Roddenberry. J-Rod?
Yeah, but it's Rodden the Roadie J-Rod.
Someone just took
Roadie.
Barry and just replaced it, like February with just with copy and replace of
Rhodey.
Whatever. Barrow Drody, whatever. Anyway. Manga, comics. Look at that. I like that one. Turf Nation again. What's he got going here? Description: movies, TV shows, gaming, Star Wars, epic videos, occasionally porn. Life advice: you've come to the right place just to hate, then you've come to the right place. Call me a dickhead all you want. Down in the comments, join my Discord.
Yeah.
Well, that's Turf Nation.
Oh.
That's Turf
Wait,
Nation.
this is not Surfs, this is something else?
Yeah, it's something else.
No need to tell me twice.
This is the guy that we covered a few days ago. And he got back. He actually left a comment on our video saying, "Oh, I'm famous now." It's like, okay, sure.
Whatever you want to believe, mate.
Mm-hmm. I wish I was famous for being. Wish I was famous for being on Smudcast. That'd be nice.
Oh God, sure. Here is every time. Oh, this is a very common meme. So.
Yeah,
it's like Quentin. Do you want to be renowned as a fucking idiot? A delusional.
Oh yeah,
piece
like
of shit.
Linkara replied to that. Like he's like saying, "No man, I don't like being a GIF."
There are people who don't care whether their fame is positive or negative, as long as it's fame.
Mm-hmm.
Well, it's more Quentin because he started crying about how even the left doesn't like him.
Oh,
we have already deduced that he has only one fan.
Blue.
Yes.
Mm-hmm. No, the one in his room.
Steve.
Yes.
That was messing with the audio.
Oh, no, Mark.
I just said that name.
Anyway, here's Luke asking how did his father die, and of course it's Gamergate.
Gamergate. Mm-hmm.
What the hell am I looking at?
Grandson, what was Gamergate like? Mate.
Oh God, no!
What is
all the destruction, the explosions?
This is the world that you know. It exists only as part of the Matrix. You've been living in a dream world, Neo. What created it? Look.
Gamergate.
I think this black man is a bit too excited about computers. He's too geeky. He's just the biggest geek you could think of.
Mm-hmm. Anyway.
After hearing Hawk's terrible 9/11 joke. Is that the
Eric was not impressed.
Is that where he dies? I can't remember.
No.
Okay.
He's just stood in the rain
All
for
right.
some reason.
Slowcast.
Yeah.
I like this one. This looks cute.
What are we? What are we?
We're sloths.
We're things.
I don't know. Can't tell.
with sloths.
Maybe moles.
Oh yes.
Sense of right.
Sense of Alliance.
What
Yeah,
is-
this is what I was on about. Yeah.
What is this?
This is great. Look, Spider-Man's leg is broken. His right leg is broken. That's amazing.
This is wow. What?
Is that a Power Ranger?
Who's the guy on the left?
Yes.
Yeah, I have no idea.
It's a Power Ranger, yes.
And a fake Shrek is that's
Oh my
great.
god.
And then the Blue Lightning McQueen too.
You just throw them all together. Cars. The guy from Cars.
It's the sense of right. I'm more disappointed that the Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles are on the artwork but aren't available.
Wow.
Oh, that's the next second.
Turkish
that's
Spider-Man.
next
There we go.
Wow.
Yeah, that's the one I said. Turkish Spider-Man.
I said Hungarian. I got that wrong.
Oh, and Ken's found.
I
the
said Turkish.
Yeah.
I said Turkish. That's what I'm saying.
Yeah, but Ken found the Hungarian.
Oh my god.
That too, yeah.
It's real. Okay, yeah, guys, check it. I'm not gonna play it, but you know.
It's just the drunk man walking on his.
Walking on his back.
Now,
Oh,
now,
yeah, okay,
now the
yeah.
Chinamen have a mission. I will fight the worst enemy of communism.
Sparrows.
Communism?
The worst enemy of
Oh,
communism.
sparrows.
Well, the Four Pest campaign where the Chinese Communist Party
Yeah,
essentially
the Great Leap.
killed all the sparrows in the country.
it was
No,
the
they
then
failed.
ended
They
up
failed to kill
losing.
them.
No. What happened is that they decreased the population so much that the pests ended up infesting all the crops, which ended up causing this I think it's like 45 million people to die of starvation.
Yep.
Yeah, because the sparrows weren't eating the locusts anymore.
Yes.
Hooray.
So you had a fucking.
It was the application of Lysenkoism, which is something that was even too stupid for the Soviets who came up with it.
I think
They put it in a drawer.
even at the
The
time,
Maoists found it and thought, "Oh, the Soviets came up with this. We need to implement this." And not even the
It's like
Soviets
even
did it.
scientists were going to Mao. It's like, no, this is a terrible idea. But then they got shut down and fucking locked in prison. It's like, nah, this will work.
All right.
Sure.
Old Man Hawk.
And it ends up causing the death of 45 million people. Congrats, China. You must be the best people to rule Hong Kong.
So, Hawk, what is this?
Oh,
I don't know.
what? You're asking me? Eric made it.
Okay. Never mind then.
I don't know. I'm Wolverine. Okay, then that's fine.
You're a Nazi.
You're old man Logan, the one that's dying.
Not you are.
No, the SJW doesn't know how to spell.
Yep. Let me be a grammar Nazi at least.
Oh.
Speaking of the next one.
Skynet, Judgment Day. Who are you people? Gamergate. Star Wars talk. Yeah. That happened. It's like, what?
Well, for a while it was Star Trek talk.
Yeah, it
I
is
missed
me.
that.
Just chilling. Waiting for my chicken to come in the mail so I can use my hot sauce in my purse.
Chicken to come in. Okay. Yeah.
Oh,
No, carry on.
That's how I like Morning Nonsense, because Morning Nonsense is just tangent the stream where we just talk about anything and everything.
No, we cannot
we
talk
just,
about.
we get to continue without being told to, like, no, we must cover the video.
Well, but we want.
I do get what we're talking about, because we are covering a video. We're here for a purpose, and we didn't even get through this one, which might partly be my fault. I'll admit that.
To be honest with you, though, once the guy made up
the homophobia.
What is going?
Yeah.
How did this happen?
Which one are we on now?
Glib loves Hawk.
Oh,
it's a surprise glib.
Surprise glib.
Surprise butt sex glib.
Oh,
Okay.
boy, oh, boy. Jesus.
Ooh.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Voss is more deranged.
Mm-hmm.
Maybe
It's
that's
the
his
look.
son.
It is the look. Once you see that look, you know exactly what they're gonna do. And it's
That
like, well, what a shock.
Lifeless.
Oh, you
smug
mean like
face.
or like a part of like when a blob does mitosis and you have a smaller blob that then becomes sentient itself, like in the Orville.
Oh my god!
And that's the other guy.
Oh dear. Well, thanks, Eric. Miss Marvel versus what? The cooler Miss Marvel?
Miss Marvel? Yeah.
Yeah, so Miss Marvel originally, I saw this meme a second ago. Where is it? Okay, so the original Miss Marvel is on the right, and that's who she used to be. That's the original Carol Danvers. But then they turned Carol Danvers into Captain Marvel, the one which we all know and hate. And then they turned Miss Marvel into what's her fuck that stretches. So
Kamala Khan.
Kamala Khan.
Kamala Khan.
Khan.
Yes.
Khan.
Anyway, so we have the original Miss Marvel and the new shit Miss Marvel.
I don't know what happened here, Eric, but don't know what Martha's has anything to do with the stream.
Nothing.
Yeah, after a long discussion, you said, I don't know what the point of that was, but thank you anyway. So it's just like, Martha, why did you say all that stuff?
I still don't know what the male gaze is, and at this point, I am too afraid to ask.
Then don't.
It's what makes Debbie.
I'm still laughing at manspread, like literal manspreading the seats that were designed by the feminists.
Oh, they got really popular. Like they replaced so much.
Those seats looked so uncomfortable, and it was so strange because it forced men to sit there like legs inwards while women legs
It was
outwards.
supposed to be uncomfortable. It's just to be torture because they hate men. Feminism is inherently misandrist.
I think it's funny for the amount they complained about manspreading on public transportation. I used to use public transportation a lot to get to college. The amount of fucking women who would waste space by putting their bags next to them.
Oh, yes.
Left and right.
Yes. Or just
And it's
overweight by default.
I remember that there was no seats left, and I had to ask this girl, it's like, hey, I would like to sit down. This is like an hour something journey. So do you mind, can you please move your bag? And then she got in such a strop with me to the point where I was like, okay, no, fine, I'll stand up this entire time. I'll go stand over here. Every time I've asked a lad who's like, sitting with his legs apart, hey, can I sit here? It's like, oh yeah, sure. And he'll like move his legs and it'll like let me sit down.
Yeah, but she can't put her bags under her seat.
So the amount they complain about manspreading on transportation, how about women spreading their belongings all over every fucking seat? How about that?
Because they don't care about your boundaries.
All right, here's the wonderful meme again. Male gaze. The spelling is very important, guys.
I can't believe that. Actually.
What is this? Oh my god. Yeah, I honestly, it's like a Xander all over again. He just says nothing. He just.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, actually, no. He's worse because he just said some stupid shit at the end that caused us to stop the stream. So.
Yeah.
The male gay bottom. Yes, Ken. Yeah, it's Ken. Thanks.
Yeah, but it's a picture of me.
Yeah, I know that.
But the funny thing about that is, the picture's cropped so it doesn't show my girlfriend. So I'm just like, Ken, there's plenty of pictures of me on my own you could have used. You didn't have to crop one with my girlfriend.
All right. Well, I'm gonna leave my 2-sentence comment, my 2-section comment to this.
I hope to God that YouTube doesn't give you like a thumbnail where it's just a picture of my head with the male gay. To use as a thumbnail for your fucking YouTube
I could
video.
specifically make it that way. It's not hard. You just play the video, take a screenshot.
Just wait for us.
It's not hard. Anyway, that was an old topic we should never ever talk about again, and from a guy we should probably never cover again. From another guy we should never even pay attention to, because there were two guys in there. That was strange to bother with. I don't think we should ever do that again. I mean, a bunch of guys or a guy watch another guy who he agrees with and just nods and goes, yes. It's like, that's not very helpful for a story. This doesn't really make riveting conversation.
No.
So, thanks, guys. It was just above 3 hours. Not bad. Doing better. And that was a full house.
Considering the fact we had 46 minutes yesterday, so we had to triple the time.
That was great. What is this thing compared to what? Like, what is your point, sir? How many sales figures for Mighty Thor were
this
there?
number says this thing. Okay, these are all numbers. Anyway, moving on to the next point.
Yeah.
Oh, you don't have another point. Anyway, see you tomorrow, guys.
Yeah, that's great. When you work with numbers, it's like there's nothing to say. Like, those are the numbers. You're wrong. So,
actually, like Mark made a reply to this exact same video, and it's like far better than whatever research this retard did.
A Mark is a farce channel.
He's a Comicsgater actually from the UK.
Yeah,
he's making fun of.
I'll be the first to say this. I did not realize what I was getting myself into when I accepted an invite to his stream. He's how do I say this? Quite cringe. I will say.
Kind of an understatement.
Yeah. And I was just stood there awkwardly in the middle of the stream, just messaging LitDev, just LitDev, please save me.
Save us all.
And then LitDev popped in, and immediately the conversation was far better because I was actually with someone I could talk to.
Lemons of any conversation.
Part of it could also be I'm very socially awkward unless I'm with people I know.
Well, the topic was not exactly something I know, because this is old news. We covered this years ago, and it wasn't a big deal. It was specific to professionals in the industry, and it was a talk on what's happening to the Western market. And that was it. There were some other things happening, like conventions and other comics, but it really helped out independent comics start their own thing, which is great. So if you're having a disturbance in a marketplace which is causing individuals to be entrepreneurs, I think that's a bonus. The lawsuits and all that stuff is always kind of shabby and weird, but it's sometimes happens. But glad it happened. Glad we got some good media out of it and started some new careers. That's always a good thing. So thank you, Comicsgate. Thank you for pissing a bunch of people off just simply for existing and being a hashtag. I mean, wow, Gamergate, the hashtag, it's still going on strong.
Thank you for being successful compared to the big corporations.
Yeah.
Isn't this what the left always wants? That you do stuff outside the big corporations to show capitalism that you don't need them? But now the socialists are all in the big corporations. What is going on?
Yeah, well. Ah, boy. Well, thank you guys. Again, we'll talk to you real soon tomorrow, hopefully. Been great weather over here. Marketplace is fun. Whatever you're doing with your time and money, don't spend it all in one piece, okay? Have yourself a great night. Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.